Spooky, ooky skeleton sends shivers down my spine.
Should I wear that? I don't know.
I'm very tempted.
Hold on.
Not enough Red Bull.
Echo. Ooh.
Am I in a cave? A true Oonga Boonga. I don't have anything anymore. Spooky, ooky skeletons and shivers down my spine. I don't remember the lyrics. I fail tonight.
Man. Did you wonder off a good where you're getting your Starbucks? I have a Red Bull today. I'm very tempted to drink the Red Bull, guys. But at the same time, I know for sure if I drink this Red Bull, I'm never going to get sick.
Gigacut.
Oh! It's the Giga-chan. The Gago-chan. The Gigago-chan. Anyway. Where's my, You know what? Fuck it. We're doing a countdown. Even though I'm not ready. Yeah, baby. Don't let your drink be drink. Just do it! Have that? Maybe. Oh! Of course. Do I have enough time? I have enough time. I want it. Why is that? God, no. We all don't know how to do this. A victory here. Wait, hold on. This is fine. This is completely fine, guys. I'm not a ghost star. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Ah! I forgot how to put these again. It's been so long. I don't know. I'm a ghost, everyone. I've been dead 1,000 years. Man. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Wait, where's my... How do I do this? I forgot how to do this. Also, I still haven't updated my tits. I'm very sad. I have not updated it. I'm extremely sad. Ma'am. Spoopy. Very spoopy, ma'am. How do I do this? I don't remember. How do I do this? I completely don't remember. Oh wait, never mind. I'm a dingle. I remember now. I have done it. I have done it. Wait, ah, ah. Hello. Who are you? Sure. I'm putting this. How do I put this away? What the hell? It barely moves now. I'm so sad. I'm super sad. I turned into the thing, bruh. I turned into the thing. No! I'm dying from beyond the grave. What is this hand so bad? I thought I finally had something, guys, but no. I don't have anything. Man, I'm extremely confused. I can't even put this in my mouth. I think that's the saddest part. I've had all day? What are you talking about? I didn't have all day. I passed out from a food coma. And then I woke up. Yeah. Anyway, Falcon Hurricane, thank you for 8 months. I think that's about it. We're gonna do a seance. Are we gonna do the whole part? Nothing like testing things live, baby. Hell yeah, baby. That's my middle name. I'm ready in 2 to 3 minutes, baby. Not like I've been doing for almost
22 months on the spooky month. Ryla love
for
to
22
love.
months already, my god. This is the 22nd month, right? I think, yeah. Guys, it's October. What the fuck? Time flies. Yeah. I thought your middle name was cringe. What are you talking about? If I had a middle name, it'd be Coffee Bean related. Yeah. What are you doing? We're gonna watch some stuff. Guess what, guys? Guess what? Another episode of our lovely watchers is out. Also known as BuzzFeed, formerly BuzzFeed Unsolved. But another episode of Watchers is out today, and we can watch it together. It's Halloween, like a true Halloween. Like I'm in a costume Halloween. Are we talking about like I find something? I'm trying to look for the one thing that I had, and I don't know where to put it. It's like when you have like a bunch of clothes, guys, right?
Hell yay, I'm ready to get spooked.
Man, for what, 22 months, 22nd month, right, coming? Thank you for 22 months, my god. I love how I still try to get stuff done or finished in like 2 to 3 minutes before stream. But you're ready to get spooked? We're ready to get real spooked. Like, what would be the analogy? I don't We're gonna find out if the Shaniacs will win again, once again today. What does the coffee say? What does the coffee say? Wait, I'm thinking. I'm thinking. It says. I'm gonna need a drum roll. You're a dingle. No. It just shows the social security number on the back of the mug. I don't know whose social security number, but it's some. I stole this mug from Earth. From my earthly duties. Someone's thingies in the back over here. A bunch of numbers. If it starts with a 6, it's yours. Where's my nose? What are you talking about? I have a nose. How many times we have to go through this, huh? You buy yourself an arm? I've always had an arm. I've always had an arm. I give you kisses. I just never show it. Right, guys? Wait, I have this one. But then... What the fuck is this? Is this pepper spray? That's pepper spray. Nah. Yeah, where did I put it? I genuinely don't know where I put it. Ow, 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 ow. Man, how much did the arm cost? Breathing, and I usually don't breathe. Oh. We will. Is that dirty water? No, it's my coffee. It's my coffee. I don't have an arm that makes the water swish swish with something else. Yeah. I love how you brought up it's a different skin color because I was like, I took it out and I was like, oh. I'm just gonna say you guys are serving the coffee. Yeah. Any volunteers out? This is one of your guys' arm right now. I think I'm killing them. Are you okay? Whoever's stumbling, are you okay? My arms are the only tan parts. Someone died! You guys have killed whoever's the crewmate down here.
It's my arm. I'm holding Cap's coffee for her.
It's like Dingle down here. Hello, are you okay? Every time we take the coat off, it just flings it to the back, guys. And you hacked someone's coffee off, stole their social security number, and then went back to space. It's the arm of ultimate despair. What is that one? Bro, I swear to God, there was like a movie. There was a movie where the arm was out. Wait, it was the Terminator! I think. The Terminator, right? Where the arm is out and it slowly sinks in. Right? I don't remember. Yeah, Terminator 2! Right? It was one of the Terminators. Oh my God, it's like the Terminator. With the thumbs up! But coffee's up instead. Coffee's up over there. Wait, hold on, I got this. I we can make this. Ah! A man. It's Jaws, but a disembodied arm. This is fine. I have something better, guys. I can just use this one. I'll do what what's her name? My friend. I'll do what Hana does. Gets the thingy out. Here we go, guys. I'll even take off my hat for you. There we go. Comfy, baby. Comfy, baby. We're going cozy today. We're super cozy today. Super, super cozy, baby.
Let's go.
Hello? Vertex Otaku. Welcome to the Starmie Brigade. I move so much that I swear, some of these pages never work out for me. I move so much! Getting the fall vibes, baby. Hell yeah. Ma'am. Wait, hold on. Let me also turn the thingamabob. There's also a pillow. I don't know which one I want, but I like the coffee one. I don't know which I like. How are you? My stomach is having the weird grumblies, and I don't know if it's whatever I ate. I don't know. If I ever be like, guys, I gotta take a number 2 very quickly, that might be the case. Oh my god. I don't know. I don't know what I want to use. I don't know what I want to use. Do I want to use? It's not Christmas yet. I can't use those. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay, never mind. I found it. But I want to use this one now.
Hello, QT Cap'n. Let me pat your head to make you feel better.
I'm having a very weird, like my stomach is doing the tango. Yeah. Can you do blanket and coffee arm? For whoever died down there, I don't know. What you popping with your, what is that? What is that, a sword? Guess what? I have a hot coffee with me. Yeah. Okay, let me close a couple of tabs. I'm so mad. I was like, oh, I should probably go and fix my thingamabob. And then I didn't fix it.
Baby.
Caffeine Pock.
Luna, thank you for the 6 months. Oh no, guys. Why is that taking its time? Is Twitch finally fighting me back? I'm still using Opera, by the way. Have you seen the announcement that Twitch was like, oh, Opera doesn't work with our platform? I really hope that's not the case. Ayo, fight me. I want your ship cap. Never! You think you could come in here and then tell me that you're gonna go and fight me with your minor little tiny stick right there? Hilarious. Well, I have spicy coffee and you're down below me and I can make you suffer. You can also be my marshmallows for my coffee. It'll be great. Oh. Spicy coffee. Extra spicy, baby. What? You're telling me you got boiling point coffee? Boiling point coffee? But guess what? My ship makes the most boiling point coffee that we literally have an espresso cannon that can go and completely melt off planets. You switch your coffee with poo? No, you didn't. You probably contaminated the crew's coffee beans. But guess what? I don't get my coffee beans from the regular crew stash. I get it from my stash. You got Sino today? Nah. Yes, I have eaten people. I have eaten people before. What if it was the poo coffee? What? Okay, but like legit though, I think there's an actual poo coffee though. I think there's an actual poo coffee. I swear to God, I remember there is an actual blue coffee. I forgot the name. Yes, there is an. I forgot I had orange juice. Oh shit! it's like watered down orange juice now. Have you ever had the time where you put too much ice in your water cup? Too much ice in your water cup. And you're like, I don't want to put the other extra ice in the sink, right? So, me being the genius, I took out my whatchamacallit? I took out like an extra cup, like a tiny teacup, and I put the extra ice in there. And then I was like, what drink do I want? And then I put orange juice. That's what it's called? Coffee luwak. The poop coffee is called coffee luwak. Hello, Moxie. Salutes. Are you guys ready to watch? The watchers. They don't have a the, it's just watchers. Yeah. It's supposedly really good. I'm very curious. I want to go to like a completely intergalactic coffee place where they serve like all the coffee beans everywhere, from like everywhere in all parts of the galaxy. I want to try one of those. There has to be one, right? There has to be one. Hello, the boss, hilarious. Like I was doing that on stream. Oh my god. Because of the bucket list. Wait, where's my thing? Where did I put it? I did not put it correctly. What do you mean you're taking over? Or you're gonna put that right in front of me? How dare you? For Shane! I'm ready for Shane, my god. Oh my god. Okay. Nice. Let me go and open up my thingamabob. I just noticed I also don't have that. Man. This is fine, guys. This is completely fine. I just have to switch to YouTube. And then this one, too. This link? I think I found it. Alright, I did. What? You're planting new rules. No more ship either. We free float through space. You mean like you're taking the ship? What's the point of having the ship? Like you're gonna take over the ship and then not even use the ship? You're gonna make everyone just float in space? Oh my god. The bib. I love how every time I open up my YouTube now, it keeps recommending the thing to me. It's like they know. They know what I want. They exactly know what I want. Alright, let me go over here. Let's see if this works. No. I just want to whoop. Nice. Wait. I want to put it over here. I want to put it over here. There you go. Put this one over here. Now put this other one over here. Now put this other one over here. Now put this other. Where is it? Where's the other stuff? Is the other stuff over here? Am I allowed to paint with the ship's coffee? If you can actually paint with it, I don't think you can paint with it. That's just called what do they call it? Like soaking it up. Yeah, this works out. Alright, cool. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is not even at full blast. I was wondering. I was like, it's kind of low. You're painting with your coffee right now. Is it actually sticking though? Is it actually sticking?
Let's go.
Zero. Welcome to the Starboy Brigade. Is it zero or is it zero? Very interesting. The rebellion failed last time. It is zero. Okay. This is watered down orange juice. Oh. Wait, why is my thingy not? Oh, I'm gonna put it here. Does this work?
Temperature is now going way up and spiking. What's that noise? Someone walking around?
I'm here to find ghosts. Do you know that you're dead?
I heard a scream. Oh, shit.
I think that works. Nice. He's spilling his coffee. I mean, hey, I'm like the lowest bar. You can tell him I've spilled like 3 drinks on 3 separate keyboards before. And I've had 3 different keyboards in less than like 6 months.
Can you guys investigate?
Spoopy month, baby. Tell me if the noise is too loud. I mean, the sound is too loud. What is this? This is Watchers. This is Watchers, which is formerly BuzzFeed themselves, but then they removed themselves because they know that BuzzFeed is a dying ship. I'm too loud. How dare you? It's fine. I'll be munching on something during this anyway. Ugh. I'm so happy you're back.
Welcome to
with
Ghost
this.
Files, where we take your evidence and our tools into the field to expose the supernatural. My partner, a skeptic. Myself,
Wait, your hair is
a
so
believer.
super
Both of
curly.
us, truth seekers. This week, our team travels to San Francisco, California to investigate Alcatraz Island.
I love it. Your hair is super curly.
You know, I gotta say, out of all the places we've ever gone,
The
this
video's a
might
bit
be
loud.
the most majestic intro we've ever had. Or lead up.
Gorgeous. It's misty.
This is one of the few places where I can't run away from the location because I'll just run straight into the ocean.
I'll put it at
Let's
70.
go.
The island.
Please.
That's Alcatraz, baby. No turning back now.
I think I've been to Alcatraz like once,
This
maybe.
looks like a nightmarish level on Call of
Man.
Duty. I think it is, actually.
Let's hop
Is it
in.
Erd Vidan? Erd
A lot of seagulls,
Vidan?
that's kind of fun.
Welcome to the
See?
Starbeam
Find
Brigade.
positives.
Salute.
Find positives about the island. Poops on my head, that's a
Chat
negative, so
seems
don't think
fun.
about that.
Alcatraz Island
Yes, welcome
initially
to the
started
Starbeam
as a
Brigade.
military fortress with over 100
go.
cannons installed on the island and a place to hold military prisoners. By
have
the
we
early
been here before?
1900s, its main purpose
they've been here
shifted
one
towards
time.
a military prison, and by 1933, it was used as a maximum security
Third
prison
Vidan.
used to hold the most incorrigible inmates in federal prisons, aka the most violent and dangerous criminals of its time. From Al Capone to the Birdman, this place was a veritable who's who for historical a-holes.
So
Don't wanna be
strong
there.
me.
No?
Welcome to the Starbeam Brigade.
Because you're a brave guy.
The prison sits 1.5 miles off the San Francisco shoreline on 22 acres of jagged
put
rock,
this
earning it the
the
very matter-of-fact nickname,
gritty.
The Rock. Has The
Yeah.
Rock ever visited The Rock?
I think he was born there.
Places of note include 3 cell blocks, a hospital, an administrative building, and a rec yard. And overall, the prison was big enough to hold 336 prisoners. The island prison had the reputation as being inescapable, though many tried.
You
8
can
definitively
try
dying
again.
doing so, and 3 possibly succeeding.
We've also placed cameras and audio recorders
Everywhere.
into the more active parts of the building in hopes that we catch activity when we're elsewhere. One looking down a large cell block area referred to as Broadway, and another in the hospital wing.
The worst part of the building is said to be in cell block D, which along with other solitary confinement cells also contains the most horrible punishment cell, unaffectionately known as the Hole, where some
The
believe an
Hole.
inmate was killed by supernatural causes.
And finally, to end the investigation, Shane and I will each be forced to explore the entire prison one at a time because
I think.
I hate myself.
Any questions, big boy?
No. This is a prison.
Have you been
Me every
to
time I
Alcatraz?
boot up a horror
I've
game.
been to more prisons than I ever thought I would be, but I've never been to Alcatraz. I've spied it from the shore.
Oh, there's a bunch of seals by that place, too.
I'm glad you got rid of Riley's.
They
Good
do love
riddance.
rolling around and slapping each other. I wonder if the prisoners could see that.
I don't know, but if so, lock me up. I'd love to just jump out there and join them one of these days. Just get all slick, roll around.
I don't know about that part,
Yeah.
but
Have you ever been?
I have been to Alcatraz. I went once as a young boy.
What did they lock you up for?
I don't
Very
think
good,
I've had a
very good. Too
tour
much cotton
on
candy at the
Alcatraz,
boardwalk.
but like the boat has went around.
Alrighty, well, I think we covered the layout. Without further ado, the investigation
Oh yeah, baby.
begins.
Only
Our
had
first
10
room
months.
we'll visit is the shower.
No,
room.
thank you for
Not
10 months. Let's
surprisingly, This is
go.
where the inmates showered, but not all activity here was mundane.
Maybe something in the
as
Little
there were
Rock.
2 separate occasions of an inmate being stabbed to death in this room. Maurice Herring in 1942 and Edward Galvin in the adjoining laundry room in 1957. Let's shower, boys. All right, starting off the investigation in the shower room, which was a very dangerous place to be.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Hello, folks. My name is Ryan,
I'm Shane.
and we're here tonight just to hang out and hopefully talk to some of you nice people.
Relative.
And we're here tonight to just hang out. I love it.
there.
No
It's
need
great.
to judge them right now.
No, everybody can be reformed.
They did their time. They did their time.
That's right.
Well, if there's anybody here that would like to reach out to us, can you make your presence known?
Pelican?
Can you say something? Can you move something? Hell, you could even touch us. I got myself a little doohickey here. It's called a spirit box. The spirit
Hello?
box rapidly scans radio.
No, the spirit box is so loud.
Spirits can communicate, and the
This
honey
thing
toad
is so
filters
loud.
out the noise while amplifying
Ma'am.
only the voices.
We will.
Okay. My name is Ryan.
I'm Shane. Hi, Ryan.
Kind of sounded like hi, Ryan.
I'm Shane. I'm Shane.
Can you say either of our names back to us? But you kind of already did that, so you let us know you would like to communicate. What?
I
What's your
answered in the
name?
spirit box. We will.
Pain.
Hello. Can you tell me your name?
We will.
Right now, I'm reaching out to Edward Galvin. What was that? Can you say that again? Oh my God! It actually repeated. What?
That's it?
Sensitive?
That's it.
Sensitive. We have
It sounds like that's it, not sensitive.
We got a chatty one.
Am I talking to Edward Galvin right now? Can you say yes or no?
Liquids, my orange juice. Oh my god.
Galvin? It sounded like Galvin.
And Maurice Herring, what happened to you in this room?
I died?
I eat some funky stuff today.
Our next room is the
With a
visitation
lot of
room,
oil.
where prisoners would visit with loved ones. And yet, despite such a tender history, this room is home to perhaps the most famous photo of an apparition in the entire prison. The photo was taken in 2014 by 2 tourists from England named Sheila Sillery Walsh and Paul Rice, and appears to show the face of a woman in a hairstyle from the 1930s or 1940s. Who this woman is and why she showed up to Alcatraz Ghost Picture Day is a mystery.
Ghost picture day.
Whoa!
Now, as you can see,
That's a lady.
there's clearly a lady there with
That's a-
1930s, 40s style.
She looks like she's in black and white. They're really selling it.
This is one of those instances where, yeah, it's either shopped or it's there. It seems that this person is aware of the presence.
What
I find it a
the
very
fuck?
unnerving photo. It's actually one of the more famous ghost photos that I've seen on the internet.
Is that so?
And it was taken just by 2 British tourists. But that's not the only piece of evidence that we have for this room.
Let's go.
Audience investigator Michelle Gwendon also captured an image of her own.
Hi, my name's Michelle, and I have evidence from Alcatraz.
I'm done.
So when I was in the visiting room, I had my family take a picture of me through the little window.
Heisenberg, welcome to the Star Brigade. What the?
I'm
It looks like
scared.
there's a
I don't
hand
see
that's pretty
anything.
distinct from the sun glare that looks like it's pulling down on my audio lanyard.
2 very clear
I don't see
images
anything.
of what is perhaps an apparition. Let's see if we can get one ourselves. Okay, so I'm already seeing my reflection because of the light.
That makes sense.
But I will say in the photo, you see a full face that's in 1930s garb, and the British tourist who caught the photo definitely were not
British.
dressed like that.
British.
Sort of like a Betty Boop type.
Essentially, yeah. And actually, in the
Got a
one
little
with the
bit of a
tourist chain,
ghost
there was
here.
a girl on the other side. So let's
That's
get
a
you on the
smudge
other
from
side of the glass.
someone's
I would love
hand.
to. You know, I love it when we do sort of a little role play situation.
Yeah, like. I'd love it if you'd stop smooching at me, because I don't think that adds anything.
My husband is a murderer.
All right, so we are now on the opposite side of the visitation window. This is
Richard,
where obviously
please.
the visitors from the outside would be standing when they visit
They're honeys.
their honeys, indeed.
They're sicko.
Or
I
their
look
sons.
weird without
I
the
guess that could
hat.
also be a honey.
I guess it could be a
You
lot
just
of
see the
people, yeah.
buns everywhere.
And we have our REM pod out there, and it is freaking out because I was just close to it. The REM pod creates its own circular electromagnetic field and will alarm when anything penetrates that field.
Not again!
The more colors on the alarm, the more significant the intrusion. The REM pod also detects temperature fluctuations.
I hate the random
Hi.
hand that comes out
It's
all
good
the
to
time.
see you. We're your acquaintance that you.
Your adopted brothers.
That's right.
Eyes are too far
Anyway,
apart.
we
How
hopped
dare
the
you?
boat and crossed the bay to chat with you here, and we'd love to see you
Rempog.
fondle the.
Yeah,
the
that's what
pod,
I heard too.
If you can
If you could just step closer to the window.
fondle the pod a bit.
The
There's
pog.
No way out. Do you hear me? But if you fondle the pod,
The fuck?
maybe.
Why is it always fondle?
No,
the pod?
highlight my
Can't you just get-
forehead.
Do.
Well, they just got to get close to the pod. There's nothing about it in the instruction manual that requires fondling. Could you please fondle the pod so he stops doing that with his fingers?
Fondle the pod.
Give it a little something.
Shane, stop. What are you
Jesus
doing?
Christ. Oh, and you got them to light up the pod. I can't believe that worked.
Thank you.
Did that, dare I say, excite you? How about this? You have permission to touch my
Ryan,
hand if you want to make
please.
contact. I think we're done here.
I think so.
So far, I feel like they're pulling their punches a little bit.
Maybe.
But we haven't gone in the cell block proper yet.
I want to
That's
see.
where
I
it
want to
goes
see
down.
that Al Capone cell.
Our next area is cell 402C, which is
Why is
supposedly
he holding
haunted by
knife?
a former guard named Officer William Miller, who was shot to death in this cell by inmate Joe Kretzer during an attempted prison break in 1946. It's
Ooh.
here that a photo was captured of a disembodied leg by a visitor to Alcatraz and was posted to ghoststudy.com. But is this of an inmate or perhaps a
Ghoststudy.com?
guard, such as Officer William Miller?
I thought when you said disembodied leg, we were dealing with sort of a.
I mean, that is a leg. Look, there's a leg that goes
Yeah, I
up.
guess I thought it would be sort of sexy, but you know, that's cool too.
Well, I'm sorry the evidence wasn't sexy enough for you. I guess you'll have to get that thrill elsewhere.
Two of them.
There's two legs, yeah. I personally think that they look like inmate legs, which is interesting because that is likely the vantage point of Officer Miller as he looked through the bars when Joe Kretzer shot him.
It just looks like the same leg copy and pasted. It's just like
Let's see if we
spread
can reach
apart.
out
Like, what is
to
he doing?
Officer
Like
Miller.
squatting?
Okay, Officer Miller. Just want to say, sorry what happened to you. Is there anything that you would like to say that was unsaid that day? Maybe one last message?
He's
Simply, if there's
lunging.
anybody here with us, please let your presence be known. You could rap on those prison bars. You could touch one of us.
You could slam the door shut, lock us in here.
I literally, when he said grab it to the person's bar, I literally thought I was like, let me in! Let me in! That was literally what I thought.
I would
Anyway.
not like that at all, actually. Doesn't seem like we're getting much in here, and I don't think anybody's home.
Yeah, it might be the.
It's on
The
YouTube.
walls
It's on
are
YouTube.
thick, so maybe it's just.
They finally got their own
Or
YouTube
it's just
channel.
not active right now. Not everything has to be a home
called
run. but a
Watcher.
single. Our
Okay.
next room is in the C block utility corridor, where hopeful escapees Bernard
let's
Paul
go.
Coy, Joseph Kretzer, and Marvin
Remnant?
Hubbard were shot to death during a last stand.
Remnant.
Perhaps they're trapped spirits.
Project, welcome to Cyber
found them in
Video.
the utility
How's the
corridor.
stream going?
Okay.
I'm
Not a
drinking my
great place to
orange
die.
juice.
Looking different.
I don't want to die in a corridor.
I don't
I don't want to die in a corridor.
Ever.
You want to watch a
We're
sun
chilling.
burn out and watch everyone you ever loved die?
How do you know I haven't already done that?
What we got here, Mr. Burger?
This is a REM pod.
Oh, yeah.
So my idea is if we could get these fellas to walk towards this door, we might pick up on them.
Hey,
Hello.
Bernard,
Bernard.
he was the ringleader.
Hey, Bernard.
Hello.
Come on out.
Hello, hello.
But that was freaky.
Kratos.
I mean, how close?
Did you change your name to By
No, I don't
Woman
think
now?
so, man.
All right. Freaky,
That was
freaky.
weird.
Some freaky
He
stuff
seems to be
there. This
responding to
guy's-
your voice. If that's one of you, could you come a little bit closer? Just come to the, just think about it. Just touch the door handle.
Just gently
Ramen.
graze the knob.
Graze the knob.
That was very good, but I'm gonna need you to get all the way through that door. That's it.
Give it a good. Come on now. Jab it.
What's that noise? Someone walking around?
Well, that is a jumpy little pod over there, huh?
No, someone's moving around, seriously. Someone. Maybe it's something wrestling around outside. Nope.
Well,
What the fuck, dude? There's some. Okay, last chance, fellas. Oop. Temperature just went up. Temperature is now going way up. It's spiking. What the fuck is happening right now? I'm gonna give you 15 seconds of silence to say anything you want. This is your floor. Ready? Go. Okay, we're gonna leave now,
Nothing.
but we're gonna be here longer. I hope I don't see you later.
I'll tell you what, if you believe in ghosts, you gotta be thinking you're not alone in this place.
The next part of the building we'll explore was referred to as Broadway by the guards and is the large corridor
Oh, that's
between C
mean.
block and B block. This area is said to
called
be
it
home
Broadway.
to footsteps, sobbing, strange smells, and apparitions. One guard even claims a group of
we
Native
will-
American spirits was spotted here, which actually may make sense since the island was allegedly used by the Ohlone tribe as a way to
Ohlone?
banish those who broke tribal law.
So basically, this island was a prison before they ever built a prison on it.
Freaky!
Which is the first time I've ever heard of anything like that.
I guess you got a rocky old island out in the bay. You might as well use it for something miserable.
Been a,
you know,
been a
Jack
prison
Sparrow
since the
somebody.
beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is Broadway. This is obviously, I guess, kind of like the main hallway between B block and C block. And it said that this is a very active area. I mean, you could obviously see that.
This is
It's
the party.
Broadway.
This is-
Of
this is
course
where it's
it's
all
active.
happening.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do?
It's
We're
Broadway.
gonna do another Estes Spirit Box session where we're gonna use you
I
as
love
the
this
speaker for the Spirit Box. You have noise canceling headphones on.
You're
You're gonna say
welcome.
whatever you hear, and you're not gonna hear any of my questions. And I'm gonna
Okay.
use you as a vessel to talk to these.
I am the vessel.
So stand in the center of Broadway.
I am the antenna. Oh, how's this fucking thing work?
I'll help you.
I am being possessed.
Oh, there it goes. I'm off to the races.
My name is
What do you mean,
Ryan.
Captain No Nose?
World's finest.
I'm gonna speak a little bit quieter because I could be talking to anybody in here. Can you tell me your name?
Air.
I don't think that's your name. Your name is not Air. Can you tell me what year it is?
7. Girl.
7. Is that what cell number you're in?
Eddie.
107. Okay, I'm at 7. What's your name?
Sparkling.
Are you just fucking with me now? What's your name?
Funny.
It's not funny, actually. It's an opportunity.
Shirt hag.
Shirt hag? Okay.
That's right.
It's like a more
God, what is happening
concentrated
right
spirit
now?
box, I
My
guess.
name is Ryan. Can you say Ryan back?
Right now? Caca. Burp car.
All right, Shaney boy.
Are we done? It's really nice to just go wherever it takes me. Like, I feel like I just slept for like 8 hours.
No, you're just real present, right? It's almost like meditative.
It's like I'm not present at all.
As our crew was leaving Broadway,
Captain
our
No
audio
Nose, I hate
recorder
it.
that we left behind picked up this voice. And later in the night, we picked up this disembodied voice.
Disembodied.
Are these perhaps the voices
Possibly,
of prisoners
yeah.
that
I hear
remain locked in their cells?
That's literally what I heard.
There's no telling how many people lost their lives in the hospital wing, and that's ignoring the fact that it now looks like Arkham Asylum. One particularly famous inmate who spent most of his time in the hospital is convicted murderer Robert Stroud, though most people know Stroud by his nickname, the Birdman.
The Birdman.
As his published book while at Alcatraz, Stroud's digest on the diseases of birds was said to be considered, quote, an important work in the field, end quote.
It's a nice case for,
The
rehabilitation.
Birdman.
I mean,
You go from a murderer to writing nice books about birds.
well, he
Beautiful.
also did do some murdering in prison.
Yeah, but also wrote about birds. This is quite lovely.
Yeah, I guess
No.
it's kind of nice.
Who
There is
is
something
that?
that's kind of endearing about a very dangerous, scary murderer loving birds. So this is the hospital wing. I gotta say, I don't like it.
Yeah, there's something sort of unnerving about a gurney or a medical table, huh?
Also, a
You
lot of
gotta
patients
attack
lost their
me.
mind here, unfortunately, including one Al Capone. The Birdman spent a lot of time in this hospital wing, so maybe we might find both of those guys. Which is why I have my handy-dandy Ovulus here. The Ovulus takes environmental readings that spirits are said to manipulate, such as temperature or electromagnetic fields, and converts them into corresponding words or
Among
phonetic
Us.
sounds. How's it going? My name is Ryan.
I'm Shane.
Can anybody in this hospital say our name back to us? How about Al Capone?
Al
Or the
Capone.
Birdman? Did you enjoy some hydrotherapy?
Hydrotherapy.
They look scared. Maybe he's talking about you.
I don't know if he's talking about me. We're going down to this part of the hospital now if anyone wants to come along. Whoa, it's like a big shower in here. This is actually not great. I don't like it in here. I guess the patients that were the most out of reach
You
in
murder
this
people in prison and then you
were put
throw
in this
things
room,
about
and
birds.
as you can see, there is absolutely no light in here. It's just tiles.
This is unpleasant. I actually don't.
Murder. Murder was recused. Was somebody in here wrongfully accused of murder? Is that why you're recusing yourself from this interrogation?
Did you like it in here?
Did you like it in here? You don't like that question? What happened in here? Why were you put in here?
For murder? For murder?
I have to imagine that's.
What do you mean? What do we
Not,
Caked doo-doo. Certainly looks like a nice turd biscuit, if you ask me. Our next stop is the barber shop, and the end of that fun little rhyme is where the fun stops, as this was the
cold.
location of Joseph Barsock's execution via barber scissors to his neck. The executor was Freddie Curly Thomas, who also allegedly happened to be Barsock's lover. It's said that Thomas knelt by Barsock's side repeatedly saying, "I love you," as Barsock died, and even, in horrifying fashion, licked Barsock's blood. Not pleasant.
I guess I was imagining in sort of a lover's way, sort of like licking off the, and less like a little cat at it, like.
Well, I was thinking he's like, the guy is on the floor bleeding out, like, and then this person gets down to their level and just starts going,
Oh, that's. I don't like
I don't care for that. Look at me.
For anyone out there who's going to stab someone in the neck, let them have some peace in their final moments.
Yeah, yeah.
Do the thing, step back.
step.
All right, so here's the makeshift barber shop. This is where Curly Thomas stabbed Joseph Barsock in the neck.
Good place for a stabbing, honestly.
I mean,
Imagine being the
Where to do
prison
it?
guard
You got a
finding
sink?
that
You
shit,
wash
though.
up afterwards.
So we will, by that logic, put this REM pod right here, and let's see if we can get either Curly or Joseph to walk towards this sink.
To spill their guts.
Become friends.
Joseph Barsock
Both.
and Curly Thomas.
Oh, they know their names.
Can you walk towards that sink, please? Now,
What is he
there
gonna
was
do with
a
the sink?
rumor that you guys were lovers. I get into a lot of arguments with my significant other, and they never end with me stabbing her in the neck with scissors. So I'm just curious what led to that.
Well, you got.
You obviously seem to be able to manipulate that device by walking towards the sink. So, every time you walk towards the sink, we're gonna know that that is a yes. Does that make sense?
It's sort of a sink talk.
Curly.
Sink talk.
Oh,
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
That makes sense.
That makes sense to them, yes.
That's a yes.
And that's both of them. Curly, do you feel regret for what you did to Joseph? If it's a yes, walk towards the sink. Oh, you nasty man.
Just wants to wash his hands in the afterlife.
Now, what are the most common ailments when it comes to a couple? Why do they argue?
We built dead ass. Imagine if you're a ghost, right? And you're just and like okay, like let's say you're a ghost and you died in your gamer chair playing video games. Like I like your monitor, right? And in the afterlife, you have to keep repeating how you die, right? And you just want to sit in the chair to go and play a video game, but then you get all these like people that are trying to go and take proof that there's ghosts that are real, and you don't want to go and deal with them. But they like at the same time of when you're supposed to repeat your death, they put the goddamn movement box right in front of the seat where you died, and you're just like, I can't go to that seat anymore. What am I supposed to do? I just wanted to sit down. Man. Most common ailments include being stinky, being noseless, being in 3-foot, grumbling. That doesn't apply to me because I have a nose and I'm 7'7". And I'm not stinky, I'm clean. I even had a hair trim.
Obviously pissed someone off.
what's the deal? Was there?
What do you mean, Chow?
Was it jealousy?
If you love someone, you don't stab them in the neck with scissors.
Yeah, I guess you could consider
I mean-
that passion. I don't know why I had to take so long to think about that. Agreed. See, that person agrees.
Yes,
Any of
did
the
you
other
see,
gents
because
in this
I
prison
didn't
who
know.
got
I
their
didn't know
haircut
what the
here,
third one
why don't you
was.
go ahead and walk towards that little sink there if you like the cut you got. Huh. Anybody who cut hair in here with us right now? Oh, shit. That's a really big temperature spike.
What? We've got a barber?
I guess so. You know what he's saying? My cuts were fire.
I guess so.
My cuts were heat. It's that hot, hot heat in Alcatraz. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, grats to you.
Sounds like a
Our
friendly
final
ghost.
stop, as it often is the most
stab
active
someone with the
part
scissors.
of the building, which is undoubtedly cell 14D, held in cell block D, which was
Take a
used
shower,
to
bro,
house the
nose.
most dangerous and
Hiya.
violent criminals of the prison. Cell 14D was one of 5 solitary confinement cells in this block, or as they were referred to back then, the hole. The hole had no bed, was completely dark, and only had a hole for a toilet. It said that prisoners were forced
Oh.
to be naked, sleeping on the ground of cells that were kept 20 to 30 degrees colder than the rest of the prison.
Ooh.
One inmate may have died of supernatural causes in cell 14D. Legend has it that the inmate saw red, glowing eyes and was left screaming in the cell for hours. The next morning, he was found dead in his cell with strange marks indicating he had been strangled around his throat, a purple, terrified face, and bulging eyes. Yet, the cause of his death was allegedly never identified. I still just can't get over the fact that they
I'm
weren't
gonna
able
look
to
like
determine his
Pinocchio. How
costume.
dare you?
He walked in, they were like, his face is purple, he's got strangle marks, looks like he got strangled. Well, file this one under, I don't know.
It seems like if they have no reservations about locking prisoners up in a place affectionately called the hole, then they might not be averse to turning a blind eye when someone strangles someone.
Or a demon did it.
Or a demon done it. Yep.
We're in cell block D
Demons.
right now.
I see.
This is where
Call
the
the
5
Winchesters.
solitary confinement cells were, and 14D, aka the hole. And if this is as awful as its description, we might actually see the hole in the ground. I see it. That is gross. So it said that in this cell, somebody may have died from supernatural causes.
That sounds like a ghost.
Leaving this right here, though, if anyone wants to say anything. My name is Ryan.
I'm Shane.
Can you tell us our names back to us to let us know you want to communicate? There is legend of somebody in here getting choked out by something with red eyes. Is that a legend? Did that actually happen? Perhaps you'll talk to us alone. So you got 5 minutes here in the slammer. In the
Okay.
hole.
Well, I'm here, back by yet another hole, and I hope I'm speaking to the purple-faced fella. How are you
William
doing?
Afton from FNAF.
You're dead.
The
Feel
purple
free
face
to,
fellow.
to whisper very gently into the receiver there, and well, you can tell me whatever you want. You want to talk about the person with red eyes who was hanging out with you in here?
Okay. Hello. It's me. What's actually in here? Is
Hello.
there anything actually
I'm doing pretty
supernatural
good.
in here?
I'm just
Can
chilling.
anybody who
My
was in
stomach
this
is
cell tell
all
me your name?
doing the tango.
Anything that's in here, show your presence right now.
Is it written? I'm thinking we're seeking someone to avenge me. The Avengers.
Yes.
Let's wrap it up in there.
All right, well, I'm gonna leave now. And then, like I said, I will be back later, but I will not be as cavalier, nor will I stay as long. So, I don't want to say you blew it, but
You blew it.
you kind of blew it. And now we move to the final phase of the hunt. Our individual investigation of the entire Alcatraz cell blocks and hospital wing.
Oh my god.
So here's how our solo investigations will work. Shane and
Okay.
I will each have 20 minutes of solid alone time in the location.
Here we go
Shane will
again.
go first, and at the end of his time, we'll hide a walkie-talkie in a room inside the building. Once Shane returns, he'll reveal to me the walkie-talkie location. Then it's my turn. I'll enter the building, and only after radioing back to Shane with the hidden walkie-talkie will the clock start on my 20 minutes of solo investigation. Let the games begin.
I mean, opportunity of a lifetime, you have to admit.
No.
How many people are afforded this chance? This is outrageous.
I think you need to reword that to how many people would want to do this.
A lot. Adventurers.
I'm doing pretty
like
good.
me. I'm feeling it.
my
I'm
stomach is
feeling
doing the
ready.
tango,
I feel like
though.
a ghost hunter now.
You look like you took 10 shots of Jack.
The weight of this helmet, it
FNAF
sort of, I think,
2 song. There's a
compresses the
specific
brain
FNAF
stem
2
in a
song.
strange way. Oh, now I'm ready to see some ghosts.
Okay, well, I feel pretty good about you walking upstairs. Are you ready to go?
Yep. This is the privilege of a lifetime. It's pretty neat to be able to walk around Alcatraz by yourself.
My tummy.
What is that? I don't know what that is. I guess it could just be the air or something. Sounds like radio static.
What if I did this?
I feel like I've been pretty tame so far on this one. Which
Yeah.
obviously always changes in this moment when I have to go in there by myself.
Yeah.
Hello, if there's any spirits here, I am Shane Midday. I'm walking down the cell, whatever this is.
Walking down
I'm gonna
Broadway.
check all the boxes and see what happens. Let the gods decide.
You probably don't really have any vested interest in speaking to me. You gain nothing from it.
Maybe today's the day I see a ghost. Who knows?
Okay. Gotta do. Use my thingamabob. I can't believe I could finally use... You know, you want to know the last time I've ever had my recorder redeemed? That was like almost a year ago. I think so. My god. Okay, I did it. I have done it, baby. Every time. You can't use the loaf. You're broke. Yeah. Did you spend it all on Monday?
I have this very high-tech microphone here, and what you can do is speak directly into it, and I will
spend
hear
it all on
your
Monday?
whispers. So if you have any messages to share with the world, speak into the microphone, and I will relay that message.
Lead the world.
Yeah, I'm scared to see a
Zabardo.
ghost, but I want to see a ghost.
Speak into my little microphone.
I'm scared that if I see it, I'll have a heart attack and die.
Tear my skin off. Wear it like a little jacket.
I'm scared that if I see it, I'll piss my pants, or shit my pants, or both.
Probably
or all
both.
three at the same time. I'm not sure which order that would occur. I think you probably piss your pants, then have a heart attack, and then shit your pants after death, from my reading.
I thought at least if I
Yeah,
locked
when you
myself up
die,
in the hole
everything
with you,
comes out. I
maybe a
learned
little ghoulie
about
would
that.
crawl out, but
Ugh.
no.
I'm scared of seeing like a little demon in 14D, seeing the red eyes, having Shane walk in there, finding my face looking like one of the victims in the ring.
One of the victims in the ring. Okay, my god. Red eye demon. No, I didn't see that. Anyway, can I get closer? Poggers! 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 Anyway, I'm gonna put myself back in the corner. Nice. I have done it.
It's very sad to be asking all these ghosts to visit me and none of them will. Years
Am I
of this
bigger? I think
now,
I'm bigger.
Me just asking for people to hang out with me and nobody showing up.
Scared of the future, but that doesn't really come into play here.
I'm gonna stroll along the cell block for a bit more. Oh, fucking Jesus Christ, did I drop something?
Mute yourself. Every time I hear Cell Block, I keep thinking of Cell Block Tango
Alright.
from Chicago.
Hey, Baba Ganoush, what's up?
Baba
How's it going?
Ganoush.
Where are you in the prison?
I was in the hole. I think I heard something.
Big head, we will redeem.
Where are you now? I'm making my way up to the hospital.
I could just do that for
Tell
free.
me otherwise?
No, I think that's good. Go up to the hospital wing and go into that murder room.
The toilet with the little
Baba
cake in.
boy.
Yeah, the toilet that had some fresh frosting inside of it.
Okay, I'm heading up to see the fudge cake.
The white cake.
Okay, I want you to ask who defecated in that toilet.
I love it when a sink looks like a face.
Defecated. Just say who shitted in the toilet. Hiya.
Oh, hello, it's me, a funny little sink. Oh, you want some water from me?
Did you get any response?
No, I'm gonna ask. I was laughing at a funny face. Who was in here and who is responsible for whatever's going on there?
A hobo. I don't know.
Okay.
making my way to the operating room.
What if it's a
where I
guy who
will
was like
place
touring around and he needed a
walkie-talkie
poop and so he pooped in there?
for Ryan to come fetch.
Here we go.
Did you put it in the
Placing.
toilet area? Probably smells like ass.
If there's any ghosts in here, here's your last chance. I'm going back outside to see my friend.
I said that last time.
There's old long legs. What the fuck? You're walking like a video game version of yourself right now.
Yeah,
Let's get this over
remaking
with.
Lollipop Chainsaw.
Get on in there, really explore the space, have a good time.
That
Gotta
probably
find my
looks so-
walkie-talkie, which I placed very curiously in
Wow.
there.
It's in the operating room?
Yes, it is.
What happened to you in there? Like I care. Let make up your bullshit story.
I did see some pretty spooky stuff.
Give
You're
him
not
the
gonna have a good
sink.
time,
I see.
And I will be praying for you.
Well, that's very comforting knowing that you're an atheist.
Alcatraz, are you ready to rock?
Why do I do this for a living? Why? Oh, shit.
We've been trying to come to Alcatraz for years now. This is truly, it's kind of a dream come true. Whole career is really just a racket for me to be able to enjoy historical sites on my own without a bunch of fussy little tourists around.
This is the
Yep, he hid it in the poop toilet.
All right, I found your shitty walkie.
I mean, you just gotta be even nasty about it.
Be nasty about it. It's our walkie.
All right, my time has started. I'm gonna sit in here, give myself some silence. I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
What was that? I heard a little scream.
A bird. You could think it's a
Who's
bird.
screaming out here?
I mean, unless it's in the middle of.
heard
No,
a
it could be
scream.
bird.
Shit.
I think Ryan is probably muttering to himself. What's the thing he says? He's like, I'm not my fear. I'm not my fear. I will not let my fear define me. Fear is not my middle name.
Not my fear. I'm stronger than my fear.
But it is. It is his middle name.
Is there somebody over there? I heard a little noise. Came from C block. Oop, I heard like a, what sounded like a prison door opening or something.
They should have heart monitors. Yeah, I know, right?
I hate this place.
You want a pet, though? Hiyo.
I don't want to walk down there. Fuck. Adios, turd nuggets. That's the end.
There he is. What'd you do?
Head cams
did,
look
like, you
dumb.
know, the whole
At least they
spin,
look
turn
better
the
than
light
someone
off,
putting the
fast in the
360
silence.
camera in their mouth.
I did hear something when I did that too,
Okay.
which was not my
Very
favorite part
exciting.
of the day.
Alcatraz. It's been a privilege.
What an honor for us to actually investigate Alcatraz. Not many investigators have said that.
No.
That they've investigated Alcatraz. But now, Madej and Burgooz. Adios.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Once one of the most feared prisons in the world, Alcatraz maintains that notoriety
tour.
is now one of the most
I want to go on a
haunted
tour.
prisons in the world.
Ma'am.
Did we actually interact with the 3 ill-fated escapees in the utility corridor? Did we pick up the presence of prisoners on Broadway? Did we hear the distant screams of those trapped in this prison? Our job as investigators is to collect and present questions, possibilities. Interpretation, however, belongs solely with you. But for our part,
She's shades
Alcatraz
bitchy.
can now be locked away in the Ghost File.
I love how they literally customize this to their making. Maybe because they're using their own budget for it.
Hey everybody, hope you enjoyed that episode of Ghost Files. If you haven't heard, we'll be answering your questions and breaking down evidence a little bit more on our weekly after show every Wednesday, Ghost Files Debrief.
That's right. So submit your questions in the comments below.
Shade with
And
blonde
if you'd like to
hair.
see
I don't
episodes
think
of
I've
Whole
ever
Day
seen that before.
Swing by patreon.com/watcher. Farewell.
Huh. We have a Patreon? Yeah, we're going all out. Damn. Ghostfacers. I just wanna binge that. I definitely do. I want to binge it. Hunting Sasquatch? The blonde hair is scarier than the prison, bruh. Chilluminati podcast? No, what is that? Is it about conspiracies? Haunted places. It talks about haunted places around the world and ghosts in them and stories about it. It also talks about the urban legends. And it's a really cool podcast. Oh, haunted places around the world. I actually these guys, they went to the Queen Mary, that's in California, and I went there one time. Did I stay on the ship? No, I didn't. I just went there and I went on a tour at night. It's pretty nice. I'm gonna go to other haunted places. That'll be a lot of fun. You wanna binge chat? No, I'm gonna go and binge. I wanna go binge other like ghost hunting folks because they're hilarious to watch. Because this one is like, it's like you can tell that they're like, oh yeah, nothing's happening. Nothing at all is happening. A lot of things can be explained. And that's why Shane is hilarious, because he's just like, oh, it's a ghost for sure. Everyone's just freaking out. But then in the other ones, they like fake it so fucking hard. It's hilarious. I love Wendigoon. Wendigoon is literally one of the only other handful of YouTubers I watch. Wendigoon is like the only handful of YouTubers I still watch. Yeah, Wendigoon's great. Though, it's one of those like things where I put it in the back while I do other stuff for like 30 minutes. Yeah. You wanna watch a Wendigoon? Well, it would have to be something I haven't watched yet. Because I swear to God, I literally just pop his channel open and then I would just watch whatever is latest. So I feel like I've watched like almost everything.
You arrive home after work. You're alone.
Why is it
and
so low?
Something is out of place. Perhaps a window opened that
yeah,
you were sure
let's go
you
look
closed.
at, are you scared
or maybe a
of being
smell
home
that doesn't
alone?
belong. Most of the time, it's merely an indicator of the nature of chaos and nothing more. But in today's story, whether or not the narrator takes heed of that little coincidence may make the ultimate difference.
Am I scared?
I'm Ryan Bergara, and
yeah,
this is
baby.
Are You Scared? A show where I tell my friend Shane
Thank you
Madej
for the
the
7 months.
internet's scariest
7
stories
months.
that please check the house from top to
Oops, my bad. I clicked on the wrong thing on the bottom.
and something is out of place. Perhaps a
Ma'am.
window opened that you were sure you closed, or maybe a smell that doesn't belong.
Nice.
Most of the time, it's merely an indicator of the nature of chaos
I'll put
and
this
nothing
over
more.
here.
But in today's story, whether or not the narrator takes
you,
heed
Felix.
of that little
You
coincidence
sleepy? Good night.
may
Good
make
night,
the
Wolf.
ultimate difference.
I tried so hard not to die. My stomach wants to process
I'm
whatever I
Ryan Bergara,
eat. So I'm
and
just
this
like,
is Are You Scared? A show where I tell my friend Shane Madej the internet's scariest stories that may or may not be true. Now, I have not read this story before, and
Come
neither has
see me,
Shane.
baby.
So lock your doors, turn off the lights, and let's
turning
see
off the
if
lights.
we can make it until
hey
the end.
Google. Hey Google,
Home Alone.
turn off the light. Nice.
A few years ago, I was renting a house in Northern California.
I need to
The
get
neighborhood
closer
was
though.
just outside the suburbs. It seemed like the perfect balance of having space and having nice neighbors close enough not to feel isolated. The area had no street lights, so it was very dark at night, especially if there were clouds blocking the moonlight. It didn't bother me though. It made my little house feel even more quaint on dark nights.
Ooh.
I got home from work one day in midwinter. It was a cloudy night, so pulling up to my house, I saw only what my headlights and front porch light illuminated. When I got out of my car, I caught a whiff of cigarette smoke. That was odd, as I had never smelled that before around that house. I didn't see anyone nearby, so I ignored it and went inside. I had just got off a shift with a few hours of overtime, so I felt pretty tired. Even though it wasn't even 7 yet, I decided to take a shower and call it a night.
I find it very romantic, the idea of living alone in the woods or in a
Romantic?
very secluded area. But it didn't occur to me how terrifying little tiny details like that could be.
In this seclusion, is the presence of cigarette smoke enough to give you pause and maybe even alarm?
I'm locking my doors, and that's probably the end of it, yeah.
I lock my door anyway. You should always lock your doors. If you don't lock your doors, I don't know what you're doing. This is not sponsored by Schleg, in which you could stop them.
Sweet lock brand, ref. You had that one ready to go.
But if we were sponsored by Schleg, this would be a perfect part.
Come on, Schleg.
I just like saying Schleg.
We can hold them
It's
hostage
very
and say,
satisfying.
like, unless you sponsor this show, we'll continue to say that Schleg locks do not work.
We're gonna shit all over their catchphrase. We're gonna say, let them in with a Schleg.
You know their catchphrase, too?
Their catchphrase is, stop them with a Schleg. You don't remember those
Schleg.
commercials?
No, nobody remembers Schleg commercials.
Anyways, he smells the cigarette smoke, he's alarmed, but he goes to sleep because it's been a long night. And that's where we are. I woke up sometime later, sure that I had heard a noise inside my house. I wasn't worried right away because
Ew,
my
that
friend
was
would
surround
sometimes
sound
stop
for
by
me.
to use my shower after work on his way to his night classes. I even gave him a spare key so he could stop by even if I wasn't home. He would always text me to let me know beforehand though, and I hadn't heard my phone go off. I reached over to my bedside table and picked up my cell phone to see if my friend had sent me a text. The bright light from my phone's screen and number pad blinded me. These were the days before the phone had a light sensor that would dim the screen in the dark, and this particular phone was so bright I could use it as a flashlight. Through squinted eyes, I could make out that it was 9-something, but I couldn't tell if I had an unread text or not. I set my phone aside and called out my friend's name. There were a couple of seconds of silence before I heard loud footfalls as someone started running through the bottom floor of my house. I leapt out of bed and ran to the closet.
Ew.
They were already up the stairs by the time I had opened the door and stepped inside.
Ew.
Jesus Christ.
Escalating fairly quickly here.
Yeah, that went from, oh man, this screen is so bright to, holy shit, I'm about to be murdered.
I always wonder about that though, if you were put in that kind of situation.
I'm tangoing, baby. I have a katana by my bedside, so if anybody wants to break into the Bergara residence, they better have a remedy for steel because it's going right through their sternum.
And I have several Burt's Bees chapsticks on my nightstand that I will throw at you very hard.
Anyways, the invaders
Me
up the
too.
stairs
I
by
got
the time
one
our guy
Burt's
gets into the
Bees.
closet. That house had 3 rooms upstairs, 2 bedrooms on either side of the hallway, the one I was in and a spare, and a
You have a
bathroom at the
katana?
end. The bedroom doors were both closed, but the bathroom door was cracked open. I heard whoever was in my house thunder down the hallway past my door and into the bathroom. Thank God he did. That gave me enough time to open the attic access in the ceiling of my closet and hoist myself up. I had just started to lift myself up when the person ran back out of the bathroom. My feet were barely inside of the attic when my bedroom door burst open. I heard footsteps run into my room and stop. When they didn't see me in that room, they ran back to the hallway and into the other room, which just had boxes stacked in a corner, some weights, and a table where I painted my miniature models. I guess they decided that if someone were hiding, it would be in the bedroom because they charged back into my room and turned on the light.
Oh,
A moment
no!
later, the closet door was ripped open. I was crouched in my attic just a foot or so away from the access, so I could try to stop them if they started to climb up. Oh man, if this is me,
Yeah, what are you
and
doing?
I'm in the attic,
You
and
got
I
your
have my
katana ready?
katana, I'm turning that guy into a fucking corn dog.
And he'd go,
From my vantage point, all I could see was from about their knee down. They were wearing dirty blue jeans with frayed cuffs and worn work boots. After a few seconds of looking in the closet, they stepped away and I heard a loud crash come from my room, followed by a scream of frustration and anger. That scream was the most unnerving part of the incident for me. It reminded me
Shut
so
up!
much of my
Shut
stepfather,
up,
who would
Phoenix!
scream in a similar way when he lost his temper. He would eventually be put in a mental hospital for severe mental disorders that resulted in erratic and violent tendencies. The man in my house ran back down the stairs. I heard crashes and clatters as things were thrown around and furniture was knocked over. I stayed crouched in the attic. I had left my cell phone when I ran for the closet, and I wasn't certain I could climb down without him hearing. After some time, the noises stopped. I started counting slowly. When I reached 1,000, I decided it was safe enough to climb down and call the police. Whew, man, this is why we gotta get a chip implanted in our head.
I think it'd be good for everybody.
We could just call people from, like, I could just blink twice and now I'm calling my grandma.
That's the thing. Everyone is always like, oh, the government's gonna put chips in you, and then what? I'd be like, chip me up, bro.
Yeah, and then I'm walking out of my house, hands-free, using my forehead as Apple Pay. It's great.
Yeah, I'm just imagining everyone at the store doing Apple Pay and then you just dunking your head.
Excuse me, let me purchase these sun chips. The first thing I noticed when I exited the closet was the
Thank you for
intruder
the
had flipped my
purchase.
bed over. I assume in an attempt to find me. That was the loud noise I had heard after he stepped away from the closet.
Hello.
I couldn't find my cell phone, so I went to the landline by the bed and called the police. I waited in my room until I heard them call out from downstairs. The first floor was a mess, but I had expected that. Chairs had been knocked over, the sofa had been flipped. All the books and pictures and
Sounds
knickknacks I had
pretty
on my
real
shelves
so far.
were strewn across the floor. The cupboards in the kitchen had been opened, and all the boxed and canned foods had been thrown to the ground.
Man.
As far as I could tell, though, the only thing missing was a single knife.
A
that was
knife?
wooden block in my kitchen.
This guy didn't bring his own knife?
That's what I was just thinking.
What are you doing?
This could be like a trophy thing, though. We've covered a lot of serial killer cases where people like the Axeman, he
Yeah.
used people's axes against them.
I'm pretty funny, yeah.
Yeah, hilarious.
I mean, it's funny, yeah.
The police checked the house from top to bottom. They found that the side door had been forced open by something like a crowbar. They also found a few cigarette butts along my fence line, along with some foil and an empty pen tube, which the police said people often use to smoke meth. So they think he had been watching my house for a while.
What the hell?
I realized that he must have been out there smoking a cigarette when I got home. They collected up the evidence and told me I should stay with family or friends that night and get that door fixed as soon as possible. I opted to just not sleep. I moved a shelf over to block the broken door and spent the next couple hours cleaning things up. I would often go to the window with a flashlight and shine it along the fence line where the police found the cigarette butts and foil, but I didn't see anything. The next day, I called to have the door fixed and motion lights installed at the back and sides of the house. I ran a phone cable up into the attic and added a landline.
Ooh.
I never wanted to be stuck up there without a phone again. Okay.
Taking some good precautions. I like his hustle. Good response.
I also can't believe that happening. This guy's like, no, I'm not gonna go stay with family and friends. I'm just gonna stay here and patrol. That's crazy to me. I would be at the police station in like one of those tinfoil blankets, like,
Do you have any cookies?
Yeah, humans
One
are
precaution I
definitely
took was
scary
practicing
eating
getting
ghosts.
out of my bed,
'Cause they're-
going to my
it's
closet and
just
climbing
comedy.
into the attic as quickly and quietly as possible. I even kept at
Thank
it
you
when
for
I
your
moved,
work.
except now I go to a crawl space at the back of the closet instead of the attic. I tried not to think about what would have happened if I had been a bit slower getting to the attic, or if he hadn't gone into the bathroom at the end
I
of
mean,
the
he
hall
probably had
first.
your knife,
Nothing else
so.
happened at that house, though. I lived there another 3 years without incident.
Oh.
So, are you scared?
Yeah, you know, a little bit. It's a scary thing
It's
to think
home
about.
invasion.
Nobody
Home
wants
invasion
to,
sucks.
Be in that situation, so sure.
Let's see if this is a real story or not.
It has to be.
And according to our producers, this one, no surprise here, is a real story.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
It's a lot. That's a lot.
This was submitted to the Let's Not Meet subreddit on Reddit, which is a subreddit where people talk about real life horrifying stories, by the username Staring Void.
That makes me sad. Makes me sad to hear about this person's trauma.
It seems like this guy is a normal person, and for whatever reason, he just had a guy come and try and kill him because that person felt like it. And I think that, to me, is the scariest part of human nature. And
Agreed.
It will keep me up at night.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. It's not fun, but I'm glad he made it out okay.
Yeah, literally,
And
people could
word
just,
to the
like,
wise, swing by the
be like,
optometrist.
yeah, I kinda just wanna stab you.
Because if you can't tell what time it is by looking at your phone, then I'm a little concerned for you, my dude.
Because there's people out there
So
like
lock
that.
your doors, folks.
Yep.
Remember,
Lock your doors. Really, lock your doors.
It's
Seriously, lock your
security
doors.
stuff.
Get an alarm system. And if you want to stop them, you stop them with a schlag.
we'll see you next time, maybe.
Own a katana. Own a fucking katana. Next one. Should go to the next one, I think. I think it just goes to the next one. Oh, my stomach. Ooh. Good morning. Hello. Welcome to Ghosties Part 3. I think. A Ghosty Saturday Part 3. Part 4.
This video contains content that some might find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Did you get breakfast? Eat
When
your
you
breakfast.
try to sleep, do you ever stare at the windows in your bedroom?
Yes.
During the day, these windows filled with sunshine can provide a pleasant glimpse to the outside world.
Uh-huh.
At night, however, these windows can provide a vacant doorway, waiting to be filled by the horrific possibilities that await in the darkness.
Oh.
You fear that if you close your eyes, even just for a second, when you open them, your once empty window will now be filled with a face staring back at you. For our narrator, that paranoia becomes a reality.
I do have real low fast
I'm Ryan
security.
Bergara, and this is Are You Scared? A show where I tell my friend Shane Madej the internet's scariest stories that may or may not be true. Now, I have not read this story before, and neither has Shane. So lock your doors, turn off the lights, and let's see if we can make it
And
until
try
the end.
massaging my stomach because I'm
The
dying.
Red Man.
The Red Man. Episode 1? Huh?
There was a man who watched me sleep. He had big eyes that seemed to protrude out of his eye sockets. He had rotting red skin, like it was soaked in blood and then caramelized.
Wait.
Already.
Caramelized.
This is the beginning of the story?
I'm just reading what's on the screen, and this one
Let's go.
happened to get off to a
Caramelized.
rollicking start. I don't know what you
Really
want.
going for
23rd
it.
operator, welcome to Starboard
0 to
Brigade.
60.
If that's what you want for a season premiere, you don't want to come back.
Oh,
with
this is the
snickle
beginning of the
fritz. You want to come
second
back with the good
season.
stuff. I first saw him when I was 7.
How have I
I was
been?
having a hard time sleeping that
I'm-
night, but I kept
My
my eyes
stomach's
shut.
doing the
The
tango.
wind was cold. I could feel it creeping on my skin. It was laundry day, and Mom didn't have a spare blanket. The window made a faint thumping noise whenever the wind blew. Thump. I should have closed it properly. Thump. But it's fine. The broken street light outside made a constant buzzing noise I really liked. I need to sleep. I could faintly hear the television from the living room. Mom probably fell asleep on the couch again. I really need to sleep. I was a light sleeper.
Hello.
Anything could wake me up. I guess even the absence of the thumping. The wind
Do you
wasn't
watch
howling against the
creepypasta
window
videos?
anymore. Maybe Mom closed the window
Not
as I
really.
slept. I rubbed my eyes and shifted to my other side when I noticed a shadow on my wall. There he was, smiling. He was the oddest thing I ever set my eyes on. I remember my hands shaking. I waited for him to enter my room and hurt me, but he didn't. He didn't move at all. His eyes didn't blink, not once. I
Ew.
waited for him to speak, but he never made a sound.
Ew.
I remember feeling frightened. I don't remember how I fell asleep again.
I think I stopped
man who
listening
watched
to
me sleep.
creepypastas
He had a weird set of teeth.
when I was just
It was
more
as if
into like
each tooth
conspiracy
belonged
theories.
in somebody else's mouth.
He does sound like he respects boundaries.
Let me
What?
know.
How is watching somebody in their sleep in their own room respecting boundaries of any kind?
Demons, they hang out in rooms and churches, whatever, bridges, etc. So it sounds like these guys are just chilling, and the person was waiting for him to come
Chillin'.
in, I don't know, whatever they do, nothing. And he was just chilling. He was sort of like,
Yeah.
tip of the hat, milady. I'm just gonna hang out over
Ew.
here. You go back to sleep. Everything's fine. Don't worry about me.
I'm just gonna continue
Not
staring
blinking,
at your
not
window.
blinking.
Yeah, I mean, they could do nothing or
I guess they could always possess that person and condemn their soul to hell forever. But that's, you know,
that's
two
true.
options. His eyes were
Thank
more
you.
bulged the second time I saw him. He almost looked like a different person. I was 9 that time. Mom made me stop going to school. She never told me why, but I could sense that I made people feel uneasy.
Oh.
My classmates rarely talked to me, but when they did, they would keep their distance. They didn't want me there. I got used to it. I didn't care. This just seems like a sad aside from what's going on in their bedroom. Do the kids at school know that the red man is in her bedroom? Or is she just like lamenting like, school also sucked at the time?
You know, if you're a parent and you're concerned that your child is maybe not socializing well in school, your go-to plan is to take them out of school. You know what helps a kid be better at socializing?
Locking them in their room with the red man.
Locking them in a room.
Mom hired a teacher who came to our house every weekday. His name was Dr. Fleece. I liked him.
Fleece.
He would always look at me in the eye when he listened to my stories. He liked to hear about the red man most. One afternoon after my class with Dr. Fleece, Mom called and told me I was going to stay over at my cousin's place. My cousin's name was Ida. She was 2 years older than me. She was the only person I considered my friend. I quickly packed my things and Mom drove me to her house. Ida's bed faced the window just like mine.
Ew.
I'd like, before we get too deep into this little slumber party, I'd like to point out it's weird that Dr. Fleece likes to hear the stories about the red man. I'm just gonna put that out there, it's weird.
Oh, the red man, you know, I always love hearing about him.
Caramelized, you say?
Protruding eyes, huh? Tell me more about his peepers.
His peepers.
I might be turning the corner here on Dr. Fleece.
Yeah, I'll say it. Dr. Fleece, I like him.
If this is a true story at the end, the first thing I'm doing is looking up Dr. Fleece and where he practices. It was around 11 when Ida fell asleep. She spent hours talking about her school life, her friends, and the boy she liked. I pretended to understand and made up stories of my own. Mom didn't like it when I told our relatives that I was homeschooled. It was quiet in Ida's neighborhood. It wasn't windy that night. There was no broken street light, and her mom turned off the television around 9:30. I could only hear the constant ringing when everything is quiet, and the faint tick of Ida's wristwatch. My body stiffened. I was falling asleep.
I used to really like it when my parents would have the TV on late at night.
I always felt like there was something watching me in my bedroom when I was sleeping when I was a child.
I had one very specific memory. I think I was like 7 or 8 or something, and I heard a noise in my room, and from the foot of my bed, as clear as a bell, I just heard like a laugh, like a, you know, like
what
like
the
a cartoonish, like a cartoonish laugh, and I remember being like, Jesus Christ, you know, and I think I got my parents. I woke up, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I heard a laugh in my room.
I don't know why, but when I picture 6 to 8-year-old Shane, I picture you walking into your parents' room and saying it just like that. Like, hey guys, I'm pretty sure there's a laugh in my room. I don't know what to think of it. When any normal 6 to 8-year-old would scream immediately, probably start crying.
I couldn't explain it. I was like, I don't know what's going on there. I assume it was a nightmare.
Or maybe from that moment on,
A
you were
sleep
marked,
paralysis
and maybe
demon.
That's why nothing seems to affect you now.
Hello, salute.
Ida's arm on my
How you
face
doing?
woke me up. I immediately saw the silhouette by the
My
window.
stomach.
He was here again. His smile was even wider now.
Again?
I could easily see how dark and dirty his gums were. My chest throbbed. I was unsure if it was fear or excitement. I can't remember how I fell asleep again, but when I opened my eyes, it was morning. The red man was gone. I enthusiastically told Dr. Fleece the same morning. He listened intently.
It's your sleep
I told him how
paralysis.
the red man
demon.
got thinner and how
My
impossible it
stomach
is
is
that his
doing the
eyes were still
tingle right
intact.
now.
He asked me if I was
I'm
afraid.
chilling.
I remember
my
nodding
stomach.
and then doubting my answer. God damn it, dude. Keep it together, man.
I gotta say, he really lost some weight, but I don't know how his eyes haven't dissolved yet.
I'm worried about his diet. I gotta tell you.
Gotta eat more kids.
Hello?
This guy's gotta get his kid count up and
Where's
carbs.
my paws? Where's my paws? Hello.
Yeah, big nightmares. They're so huge. I like them big, but not that big.
But no, oh my god, thank you for the lovely raid. Salutes. Hello, welcome, readers. I am Captain Real of the Starbeam Brigade. Wait, where's my hat? I am Captain Real of the Starbeam Brigade. The moonshot. Sorry. Anyway, the moonshots I die stream. Thank you very much. How am I? My stomach is doing the tango, and so we're chilling and watching Watchers, also known as former BuzzFeed Unsolved. I like it. Let's go. Reading. Hell yeah. Because thank you for the raid. If you wish to stick around, you may do so. I do stream into Unga Boonga hours. But if you gotta go, you gotta go. Oh my god. My stomach. What were you doing? I didn't even get to see. I stood up like very slowly. Visage? How is Visage? What part are you on? Oh my god. I love Visage. I think Visage was like the first horror game I streamed. I think. Yeah, I think so. It's a very fond place in my heart. Yeah. So scary. Oh my god. When you finish Visage, I might recommend something. I'm gonna try playing this game that's kind of similar to Visage. And if it's,
let's go.
It's like, I think it's called Madison. Yeah. But I recommend if you're like, wow, I want to get spooked again, like PT-esque style, then maybe try looking up Madison too. Professor Pablo and Ethan Gamer Girl, welcome to Starboard Brigade. And Phil's chill, thank you for 7 months. Salute. Yes, the hat is back, baby. I'm like trying to oh, my stomach is doing the tingle. Oh. But yeah, thank you for the rain. We shall continue this. The hat is back. Yeah, this is very cozy right now. Just call me Ethan or Egg. Egg? Egg? I kind of like that. I don't think we have an egg on the crew yet. An egg. Wait, I wanna nickname you Egg. Egg. Okay, girl. Let's see if I'll keep this up. Oh. Where's his eye?
There was a man who watched me sleep. I know because I watch him back. The red man never blinks or moves. He was just there, staring
I'm
with
just
his
a
mouth
cafe
wide
goer.
open in a cheek-splitting grin. Dr. Fleece made a bad decision that day. After our
Ah!
class, he told Mom about the red man. Since
I
then, he hasn't
see.
come back to teach me. I waited for him. He was my favorite teacher, but he never came back. Maybe I scared
Mine
him
would
away.
just be.
I do that to people. One evening, Mom decided to sleep in my room.
Oh?
I was reading one of the books Dr. Fleece gave me when she entered.
It's
It was the
happy
first
spooky
time I'd
month.
seen her that way. She was scared of me too. After dinner, I did my chores and went to bed. Mom was already there. She brought her own blanket and pillow. She was skimming through the books Dr. Fleece left for me. I sat beside her.
You're
Since
Stevie
then,
Torco.
Mom has slept in my room.
Oh,
I only
that's
knew
good.
that I had fallen asleep when I woke up in the middle of the night. The red man was there again, watching me. His eyes were glued to my face. But he wasn't smiling tonight. I wonder why. He seemed different again. I was 11 this time, and I didn't feel scared anymore. I was used to him. The red man's company was nice. Since the fear of him faded, I always get to sleep well at night. He made me feel safe. There was a man who watched me sleep. He never moves or blinks. He just stares at me. 2 years passed without seeing him. But I could always feel someone was watching over me. Mom still slept beside me, but I didn't mind. The red man watched over her too. It was nice to have company in the darkness.
So they
I
just
do like
accepted
though
it?
how Red Man is becoming sort of a father figure now though,
I will say that a lot of times these entities will make the people that they're targeting
SS
feel
101
comfortable
109,
so
we're
that
gonna
they
stop
can get
everybody.
them when their guard is down.
What is
So
this video?
I'm
Are you
wondering if that's
scared
where this is
videos?
going.
Wouldn't they start out that way though? Because it sounded like Red Man came in really hot and was like, I'm gonna scare this little kid. And then the little kid was like, hey man, what's going on? How you been? And Redman was like, oh, wow, finally someone sees me for, you know,
Who I am.
the demon, the nice person that I am, and looks past my rotten teeth and my dissolving eyeballs.
One night,
Those
I woke
stock
up
quotes
feeling
and they're
thirsty.
starting to sound
I
like
looked at
that.
the window first, and I felt a sense of disappointment when I found no friend there. I quietly left my room and walked down the dark hallway.
My
eyes
sleep
adjusted
paralysis demon
quickly,
is
and I
not
found
here.
my way to the kitchen. I opened the refrigerator and took out the pitcher of water. I poured cold water into the glass. I saw
he
the
in the
clock
house?
as the light from the fridge faded. It was midnight. A smirk appeared on my face as I walked back to the bedroom. Before I got there, a piercing scream startled me. The glass slipped from my hand and shattered on the floor. I ran back to the room. Panting, I opened the door and saw Mom standing behind the bed. She was trembling, her eyes fixed on my window. The red man was there, bloodier than ever. He was smiling this time. The red man, he resembled Dr. Fleece. He had the same rotting skin, but he had Dr. Fleece's eyes. I know because of the way he looked at me. Mom kept screaming, asking our neighbors to call the police. I tried to keep her calm, assuring her that the red man won't harm us, but she was frantic. She called the police and left me in the room with him. Didn't expect every man for themselves from the mom.
I'm gonna call the police. You stay here with the red.
I'm sorry, I murmured, feeling embarrassed by how my mom was reacting.
It's so
The red
good,
man
yeah.
didn't respond, just smiled. After calling the police, my mom dragged me out of the room.
Because you're super
I peeked into my
dehydrated when you
room,
wake
and
up.
he was still there. Mom
Still
hugged
there?
me and brushed my hair with her hand. She told me everything was going to be okay. I didn't understand why she was trying to comfort me. There was no need to. The police arrived minutes later. I watched them examine the red man from behind my bed. Mom was busy talking to them, so I snuck in. A cop with gloves placed his palms by the red man's head. My eyes grew wide. I was about to stop him when Mom ran back into the room. She pulled me away and tried to cover my eyes, but it was too late. The police pulled out the red man's head. A head from a makeshift pole outside my window. Turns out my friend was a severed head. 4 severed heads. They were the ones who watched me while I slept.
Are these real heads though?
It says the person that was looking through the window was an actual severed heads. Oh my God, that makes sense now because that's why the skin was all gross. That's why the teeth were rotting.
So then they went
Oh my
after
God.
Mr.
Dr.
Fleece
Fleece
dude.
is not the red man. He is a victim of the red man.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I gotta say, rip Dr. Fleece.
Look, let's just hold out hope for our guy, Dr. Fleece.
Hello?
And apologize because we doubted him.
Hello.
Yeah, that was rude.
That was rude. The policeman said they
Hey,
had
yo.
had similar reports in the area since 2006. It wasn't only me. One kid who was 3 years younger than me had been saying the same thing. He had had his own red man, but his mom thought he was only imagining them. He disappeared just 2 weeks before. She was also a single mother. Mom broke down after that. We moved a week later. There wasn't a man who watched me sleep. It turned out I've been staring back at decapitated heads since I was a child. My friend doesn't exist. I'm 14 now. I barely think of the red men. I'm doing fine. New school. I also made a few friends.
I'm doing good. My stomach is doing the tingle though.
News. They would always want to hear about the red men. It was midnight in our new house when I heard Mom turn off the television. I've been having a hard time falling asleep lately. My therapist said that I should try recalling my earliest memory. I've been thinking about it for a few days now, and it would always bring me back to when I was 5 or 6. I was in our old house, staring outside the window with my hand pressed on the glass. There were red and blue lights coming from outside. I remember feeling sad. A rattling outside stopped my train of thought. The hairs on my limbs started to rise from anticipation. I stared at the window waiting for... meow.
Meow.
I'm like Ron Burgundy, baby, okay? I'm a professional. You put meow on the page, you're gonna get a meow from the Bergmeister.
But I want a really authentic meow, so please.
Here we go. I'll try it
usual
again.
amount of gravitas, but really sell that meow.
The hairs on my limbs started to rise from anticipation.
I stared at the window, waiting for meow.
Nope, no good. Nope, one more. It's gotta be higher pitched.
Higher pitch, higher pitch.
I want it to
so
sound
too.
like a
I
real
thought, yeah,
cat.
just give me a second. I'm in my head.
Okay.
Okay, let me go one more. The hairs on my limbs started to rise from anticipation. I stared at the window, waiting for meow.
That was it.
That was good. I felt good about that one. Check the gate.
Really good.
Check the gate. Good gate? All right, let's move on.
You can chill with us.
I fluffed my pillow and closed my eyes, disappointed. I dreamed of my earliest memory. It was still the same thing. It was my younger self staring at something outside my window with my palm pressed against the glass. But something new happened. When the red and blue lights completely faded, a large, masculine hand pressed against mine from the other side of the glass. It lingered there as I smiled. When the hand retracted, I was waving goodbye. A knock. I woke up abruptly when I felt something wet touch my toes. I flinched and sat on the bed. Why does my room smell like rust? When my eyes finally adjusted to the darkness, I saw a child's head on the foot of my bed. My sheets were already soaked dark red. The child was smiling. There were pins and threads poking out of his cheeks to keep it that way. It looked messy, so I started fixing him. There was a man who watched me sleep. He chopped up people's heads and placed them by my window. And now he entered my bedroom and placed a little boy's head on the foot of my bed. I should be scared right now, but I'm not. I've always liked the gifts. A hand knocks on the window. So, are you scared?
Definitely fake, for sure.
Okay, so now to the point where we find out if this story is real or imagined.
It has to be fake.
And it is imagined. The Red Man by Jason Morales is a fictional story submitted to our show. So thank you to Jason. Quite the yarn. A twisted mind on that
Upgraded
person.
goosebumps. Oh my god, yeah.
Good on you, Jason.
Yeah, it definitely had me at the edge of my seat. Not so much that I was scared, but thoroughly entertained by all the funny little twists.
Most of the times with these stories, the twist is, oh, this was actually a true story, or this was actually false, and we kind of led you to believe that it was one or the other. The twist in this story was that it was set up as supernatural and ended up being more grounded. So yeah, I would say that I was scared.
Now that we know this is imagined, we could maybe ask him to write a follow-up where maybe Dr. Fleece origins.
The shook is love, shook is life.
I love Dr. Fleece.
I'll tell you one thing, I don't think Dr. Fleece aspired to be on Aspire.
Yeah, good story,
Yes.
good story.
Yes.
I guess we'll see you next time.
Rip Dr. Fleece.
Good night.
Good night,
Sweet
Blue.
dreams.
I hope you sleep well. Oy. Oh, Blue. Hello? Hello, Gummer. Oh, I'm dying.
Oh, yeah,
What is that?
Finally, celebratory hands in the air. October, octopus, OMG, playful face, itis the month, tear off calendar, already, disappointed face, thank fucking finally, maple leaf, oh, weary cat face, dear, Chinese for nothingness, smiley face, couldn't, man crossing arms, take, fist, the summer, sun with face, vibes, devilish face, time, 1 o'clock, sunrise, fire, 4, open folder, spooky, ghost, skull, vibes, devilish face, now, alarm clock, oh, thoughtful face, hugging face, yeah, double down pointing triangles.
Yeah, it's gonna take
hell,
some time.
Dog. Crying face, badge.
I don't
yeah,
even. I lost
thumbs
track
up,
of where it
hill,
is.
Bust, B, smirking face, boy, angry face, a skeleton, skull, 24/4/7 at work, office building, at home, house, at the convenience store, department store, while, man, 100, the clerk asks, angelic face, me, flushed face, sir, man, can I, you, right pointing finger, leave, falling leaf, ill, woman, say, speak no evil monkey, October, octopus, you, left pointing finger, can't, Man crossing arms, do not enter sign, no entry sign, do, man dancing, anything, speechless face, spooky, carousel horse, scary, curled paper, skeleton send, mobile phone off, dog, victory hand, shivers down ear, 12 o'clock, cyclone, cityscape at sunset, spin shrieking, tram car, skull's wheel, raised fist, turtle, crown, shock, 3 o'clock, woman crossing arms, your soul's ill, closed letterbox, your, 4 o'clock, doom Tony.
Is it done? Is it done? I lost track. I don't even know what any of that meant. I don't know. Oh my god, guys, I'm dying. I'm dying. Anyway, thank you for the 18 months. Hi, yo. That was a long Texas speech. You're reminding me that I should probably put a fucking like limiter on there. I didn't know if there's even a limiter on there. You clipped that meow? Are you kidding me?
This video contains content that some might find
Hello?
disturbing. Viewer discretion
I look
is
very
advised.
cozy. I am currently coping. My stomach is
Have
dying.
you ever lost touch with a friend? It's funny, the change that time can bring to a person.
Oh yeah, for
even
sure.
someone you knew. But what if the transformation was so
Do you know
stark
emojis?
that your friend was basically unrecognizable? A metamorphosis so absolute that the life behind their once friendly eyes is now intrinsically different. Perhaps
I don't
even
know.
sinister or
It's
dangerous.
like weird.
For our
like,
narrator, how he answers that question may in turn change his life forever. I'm Ryan Bergara, and this is Are You Scared?
Man.
A show where I tell my friend Shane Madej the internet's
I want to
scariest
take our
stories
shit,
that
but I
may
feel like if I take
or
a
may
shit, you
not
guys
be
are
true.
not gonna see me
Now,
for
I
like
have
an
not read
hour.
this story before, and neither has Shane. So lock your doors,
Play
turn
the
off the lights,
trumpet.
and let's see if we can make it until the end. Something got my friend.
Stinky! I'm fighting for
This
my
happened some years
life.
back, and I've always been quick to push it off and try and forget about it. But a conversation I had recently inspired me to write my story out so people with more experience of paranormal/supernatural phenomena might tell me what I witnessed, if anything. This all takes place in northwestern Montana during the late autumn of 2009. When I was 17, I moved out of my parents' house and in with a coworker, John, in his trailer. We got along well at work and had been part of the same weekly D&D group for a while. It was actually one of the better roommate situations I've ever had, and we became close friends during that time. We were roommates until shortly after I turned 18, and some personal stuff happened with my family. I ended up moving back in with them for a while so I could help them cover some bills. It took about 3 months for that situation to stabilize, and I called John about moving back out there with him. This was the first time I remember feeling something was off.
John.
Though it's been so long, I can't remember the details of the conversation. Just a sense of wrongness that lingered for a while after I'd hung up the phone. Either way, John said I was welcome to move back in, which I expected. I waited for a day off, and another friend, Dave, came along to help me move. Dave was another D&D pal from a different group, and we were figuring we'd talk John into a one-shot session or something.
Ooh.
So we loaded up all my stuff and drove out there.
Let's go,
What
baby.
followed was a nightmare.
Ooh, I gotta say I'm loving all the D&D talk here. A one-shot sesh?
In layman's, what does that mean?
Well, a one-shot sesh is when everybody kind of gets together for like a contained adventure. And then, like at the end of the night, it's like, all right, time to go home. Wow, what an adventure. Nice meeting you. Thanks for the Frito scoops, etc.
I like these two guys. I hope they have their one-shot
me too.
sesh.
I'm sure that's where the whole rest of the story is going, right?
It's just the plot of the one-shot sesh.
If they ever get out D&D one-shot going. So, are you scared?
From the moment John opened the door, everything was wrong. I won't say John was a clean freak, but he tried to maintain his space, and he'd always insisted we
I know,
clean up for
right?
company
I feel
when
like they'll
was
be
living
fun
with him. I
if
stood
they
there
play
open
D&D.
mouthed to see the thick layer of dust that coated nearly everything. and the longer I looked around,
Dust?
the worse it got.
Mm.
There was a half-eaten plate of food turned to mold sitting on the table.
Ew.
Both sinks in the kitchen were similarly moldy, and the air in the trailer stank, even beyond what I'd expect for some moldy dishes. Not what you want to see in the place that you're planning to move into.
No, but I was a little distracted during this because you're talking about this creepy environment. But I was just really curious to know what the half-eaten food was. You said they said half-eaten food.
They're moving in.
Yeah.
Is it nachos?
And they're gonna play
It was a
D&D with the
rotisserie
new
chicken or a candy apple?
For him to point out half-eaten,
Yeah.
I would assume it's something that's delicious, because you'd be like, how could you only eat half of that slice of za?
Yeah.
Za being pizza.
When I used to work in a movie theater, sometimes people would leave half-eaten buckets of popcorn in their seats after
Please
the
don't
movie
tell me you
was
take
done.
them.
And it was my job to go in and clean them up. Sometimes I'd just eat them. It was free.
Gross. That's so gross, dude.
I don't care. It was pretty gross.
I lost my train of thought because I can't
That's good.
think. I can't stop.
I actually had to duck into a corner of the theater where the security cameras couldn't see me but not only was it free, but I was getting paid to eat it.
Goldmine, I guess, for someone like you.
It really was.
I was extremely taken aback by the state
What
of
if
the
they had
trailer,
the flu?
but the state of my friend
my
was
God.
even more shocking. He worked at a bank and
Just
had always
ate
kept
buckets
himself
of
clean.
popcorn that
And
people
now
left.
He looked like a wreck. He'd lost weight.
Disgusting.
His skin had an unhealthy, waxy look to it. His hair was overgrown and greasy, and his body odor was terrible. His smell is the first thing that made me think there was something really off about the situation. It was almost the sickly sweet smell of something dead, but not quite. I've never smelled anything exactly like it before or since. The way he's describing his friend, this sounds like somebody that's just been in quarantine for a while.
Yeah,
sounds like
it
all of
sounds
us.
like me currently.
Right now, my skin has an unhealthy, waxy look to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hair overgrown.
I
This
mean,
guy, look at this guy. He looks like
Did I
Look
miss
at this
homeless
right
Ringo
now.
Starr.
Heck greater than, but hello.
guys wanna
Lulu.
play some-
You're looking. Anyway, chat, you're looking good tonight, Peepo happy.
Oh, yeah, you missed the episode for the new watcher. Hey, it's on their channel if you want to go watch it though. After this stuff, Yo, the dark stuff is not catching my face correctly. Hey Google, turn on the light. Okay, nice. Smell like really smell. Man. Okay, I need to sit up. My stomach is almost doing the tingle, but like in a different angle now. It's doing the tingle. I hate it here. Man. You can see the light go on. What are you talking about? I got immersive lightings for you guys. Meaning you get to see me 24/7. How do you like that? I'm gonna move like this, comfy, and then make it that I could just slightly die, but like angled. I have 4 arms. No, I don't. What you talking about? I don't have 4 arms. What am I, like the Ben 10 alien? I don't know if you guys remember Ben 10. Uppies? 4 times the smell, bro. What do you go to jail? Did anyone even redeem jail? I don't think so. I think I'm fine. I think. I need time. Did I do time pogs? I feel like I missed 1 Titan pog. That was 23 minutes ago. Shidori! Did I miss your time pogs? I think I missed your time pogs. My bad. I'm gonna do it right now. It was you, yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Anyway, I failed my whole dinner. Oh my god. Poggers, 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 beat it, poggers. The tiny bird was Poggers. Pull up the Poggers. Attack of the Titan. Imagine if the Titans were to actually burp like that, though. It's like a bah. Like after eating a lot. I'm dying. Oh my god. Oy.
D&D? Maybe a quick
Go to the bathroom, redeem.
You guys down for one shot? One shot? Yeah, let's do a sesh. At this point during the encounter, I'm at a general level of unease, and I didn't have any desire to go further into the trailer. But John invites us in, and not wanting to be rude, I go in. I start to wonder if something crazy happened while I was away. John wasn't dating anyone, so this wasn't from heartbreak. We'd kept in touch after I first moved out, and even when that fell off a bit, I still heard from our mutual friends about the D&D sessions he was still attending. Regardless, despite having not heard anything about it, obviously something had happened. So, standing there in his dusty living room with Dave, who was shooting me sideways looks the entire time, I asked John if everything is all right. No response. And then, after a long silence, he assures me everything is fine. Just that. He doesn't try to explain the state of his house or anything. Weirder yet, he goes, "You guys can crash out here," and just heads off to the back of the house. I'd always known him to be a diligent host, so this was odd to say the least. Although basically, nothing was going as I expected. Now comes the part where I'm glad Dave was there. If somebody asks
I didn't even see the double lurk thing.
You all right, and they don't say anything. Alarming, no?
Yeah, here, let me give it a whirl. Hey, Ryan, your apartment's looking pretty grimy, man. You all right? Yeah, that's chilling.
Ew! I don't like
Pretty chilling. Okay. Well, the bit is complete. We are done. We can resume telling the story now.
If we must.
Okay, good. Thank God. Okay.
I hate it.
To me, this nasty trailer was still my home. I'd lived there for more than a year before my 3-month visit to my parents, and had a sense of belonging in the place which I think made me oblivious to things that were obvious to Dave, such as a layer of undisturbed dust across the entire living room and kitchen floor, except for a thin track from the front door to the hallway leading to the back of the trailer. Whispering to me, Dave says, "Nothing in here has been used for a long time." And looking around, I realize he's right. The TV, the computer, the couch and chairs,
For a long...
the dining room
the
table
TV?
with its rotten food. John hadn't so much as laid a hand on any of it for a month, possibly longer.
Yeah.
The long
You know
track
what?
made me think Dave was gonna be like, I think that's...
Maybe you're onto something. He's just in big depresso espresso right now. That sounds very real. Big depresso.
Dude, the
Espresso.
slug. You know, like he turned into some... I guess I was imagining like a slime trail.
Yeah, like he just ekes off into the, he goes, "You guys can crash out here." just
I think your friend's a slug, dude.
Dave, almost as if he's sneaking, walks quietly into the kitchen to inspect the fridge. He points out a few thick patches of dust on the flatter surfaces of the fridge, but it's harder to tell here. The fridge's metal handle has some dust, but it isn't collected. Stepping past Dave, I reach out with one finger and pop the fridge open, and was gagging before I'd even opened the door enough to trigger the interior light. Throwing my arm across my face and burying my nose in the crook of my elbow, I open the fridge about halfway. Inside, it's top to bottom rotten food. I step back after a second, turning away and trying to suppress my urge to vomit. At this point, might be a time to take a U-turn and head back on home.
Yeah.
Get back to the folks, tell them, look, I was wrong about wanting to move out.
Yeah.
I got a pretty good gig here.
I'm just thrown by the top to bottom rotten food in the fridge. He doesn't have like a jar of olives or anything?
I hate olives, though.
Well.
I find them repulsive.
Well, more for me.
Another thing, too, here, and this one is honestly maybe the most alarming to me. What is this guy living off of?
Yeah.
Because clearly he's not eating his food.
Yeah, well, it sounds to me like that's a little jelly bean on the scale for slug theory.
More or less done playing Dust Detective, I basically shrug off everything up to this point, clear some dust from the couch, get my laptop out, and connect to the Wi-Fi. We'd always paid for the best internet available.
Whoa, good for you. Was he dropping a Am I the Asshole post on Reddit?
So, Luz,
I
have a
just
good
got to my friend's house.
rest of your
It's
day
covered
or
in
night.
garbage, and think he's a slug now. Am I the asshole for wanting to leave?
Am I the asshole?
After a while, Dave joins me and we play World of Warcraft.
Am I the
for a bit.
asshole for wanting to leave?
Eventually,
I
he tells
can't.
me he'll hang out for tonight because I'm his ride and taking him back to his place and driving
If
back
this was
to
a
the
real
trailer
story,
was a
then
90-minute
of course
round
that
trip.
story would be out.
To be clear, I would have taken him home anyway. I wouldn't blame anyone for not wanting to hang out in a room with a giant stack of moldy dishes in the sink and a fridge full of rotten food. We play games on the computer for the next few hours, and John never makes a noise. I respect the commitment to the game.
I guess.
That being said, life may not be continuing much further if you keep playing World of Warcraft when there's a slug down the hallway.
Yes, very good.
At one point, Dave asks me where the bathroom is. I tell him it's at the far end of the hallway next to John's bedroom. A low level of unease had been present since John first answered the door, and was becoming more apparent the longer we stayed. Normally, I don't walk my friends to the bathroom, but it seemed the right thing to do at the time. So, I lead Dave down the hallway, flipping on the hallway light as we go, the switch covering my fingers in dust. At this point, I was actually starting to get annoyed with all of it. I don't normally have bad seasonal allergies, but all the dust we've been stirring up had my nose itchy and half plugged. So, on my way down the hallway, I start to consider knocking on John's bedroom door to confront him about the condition of the house. But halfway down the hallway, we see a huge hole in the floor outside the bathroom door. A jagged-edged hole through which you can clearly see the dirt, cobwebs, and shredded black plastic that used to cover insulation. Now, I'm really weirded out, but for some reason, I still point Dave into the bathroom and continue to walk to the end of the hallway where John's room is.
If this is on the trajectory that I think it is, then that's a slug hole. That is a boilerplate slug hole.
That's a slug hole if I've ever seen one.
Now that's a slug hole.
If this was you, I am concerned about you, but I also, at this point, am concerned you're either A, slug person, or B, a zombie. So I might have to just leave and then call the cops and they could deal with it. Because I'm not gonna walk in there and now now I'm a zombie or a slug person. You eke at me or something, whatever slugs do.
But you're gonna go with zombie over slug?
I'm thinking zombie, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
Some sort of pod person?
I'm not staying to find out. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
I can see there's no light coming from under his door. I wonder briefly if he's asleep. Annoyed, I knock. Loudly. A few seconds pass. Then, I hear a grunt from inside the room. I pop the door open and flip on the light. This is where it really starts to sink in for me how wrong this experience has felt. A cursory glance at the room confirms it's in the same state as the rest of the house.
Maybe broken
Dust
tiles?
everywhere, except for the track from the
Broken
door to
stuff?
the nearest side of the bed. The bed itself was terrible. The blankets and pillows were stained a deep yellow, almost black in places. And then there was John, just laying on his back in his bed, 1,000-yard stare through the ceiling. He didn't even react to me opening the door.
If I'm knocking on someone's door to see if they're doing well in their filthy, filthy home, if they give me in return a ooh, I don't think I'm going in there. Again, this is another juncture where I'm just thinking, well, it sounds like they're going through some stuff. I'm gonna leave.
Well, first off, I'm not knocking on the door like I'm the 5-0. I'm not banging on that thing annoyed.
No. You're doing like a shave and a haircut, right? Like a
shave and a haircut? That even might be a little too playful. It's gonna be even more of just like a, hey man.
Uh-huh.
And even if I do that and I hear,
yeah.
Okay, well, I'll come back later. In that moment, I forget entirely why I came to talk to John, because looking directly at him, I felt the beginnings of a profound fear, which even at the time seemed like an odd feeling to have in that situation. You see, John was not an intimidating guy, short, baby-faced, and yet in my gut, I was afraid of him. I don't really know how to explain it. After that quick moment of fear, I quickly mumbled something about how I'd come to say goodnight and turned off the light and shut the door. I turned around to find Dave kneeling by the hole in the floor. As I struggled to rationalize the primal fear from being in John's presence, Dave points at the edge of the hole and tells me the wood along the edge is twisted upward, as if the hole was made from below.
Below?
What would do that?
A slug, Ryan. A big
No,
slug.
I'm talking like real life, like a very ambitious little
Nothing?
beaver.
I mean, I would probably say nothing, but you know, I can't imagine anything doing that. I don't know what the integrity of the trailer. You said it was a trailer. It's usually made out of like metal.
Yeah, it's like metal and plastic.
wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insulation.
Right. So, you know, I guess maybe a tremor from the motion picture Tremors could do it.
A transformer could also probably do this. You
That's
know, like
true.
one of those sand snakes.
Or that drill machine that Bebop and Rocksteady use in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Once again, also could do this.
Mole
There's a lot
people.
of
Yeah,
things,
mole
but
people.
I just can't put my finger on what in the real world could make this hole. I kind of came to my senses once we were back in the living room area and I reopened my laptop.
Grubble.
My sudden intense fear of John eased off, and we played games for a few more hours before Dave said he wanted to
Sorry,
rest his time.
just drilling holes in people's houses.
What the fuck is wrong with
yo, dude?
It's a common
What are
transformer
you
lore.
doing, bro?
But well, it seems like something subterranean bored into this home. Why don't we relocate to the safety of the living room and play Minecraft for 5 hours?
We shut everything down, I chilled out in a recliner, and Dave laid down on the couch, positioned so he could see down the hallway. I was too uneasy to sleep. After looking into John's room, I determined I wouldn't be living here after all. As much as I really didn't like living with my parents anymore, it was preferable to whatever John had going on. As the night went on, I'm just waiting for the sun to come up, really starting to wonder why we haven't left already.
Yeah, I'm
Then
surprised why
suddenly,
you guys even
Dave's
stayed.
eyes get wide, and he motions with his hand to get my attention. He points towards the hallway, and I turn my head slowly in the recliner to look. After perhaps 15 or so seconds of staring hard into the darkened hallway, I hear a slight creak from the darkness. A little while passes. Both of our eyes remain glued to the dark hallway. We hear a few more creaks. And then, out of the darkness, John's shadowy silhouette slowly emerges. And now, he's just standing at the edge of the hallway.
Nah,
staring into the dark.
leave.
That deep sense of primal fear builds in me again. The only thing I could compare it to is once when out hiking alone, I ran right into a bear going the opposite way on the trail. I feel like making this clear is paramount. Seeing John lurking in the darkness of that hallway inspired in me a state of fear so powerful, I feel I have no choice but to look for unconventional answers as to what happened to my friend. Because the only thing comparable to that gut feeling of dread that my short, baby-faced friend created in me was the time I ran into one of the largest terrestrial predators on the planet. What's the right play in this situation if you're the narrator? Because
I'd be like, all right, good hang.
I'm not saying shit. I'm just.
Thanks for the Tostitos.
My thought is
See you
if I become furniture, he won't see me. He will just. If I become so still, perhaps he won't even see that I'm there.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, this guy doesn't seem like he's moving around too much. So I'd probably just go.
You ever try to get out of a recliner quickly? It's tough because your feet are up, and when you have to do that, the momentum carries you forward. By the time you're already on the ground, he's already sliming you. There was something wrong and dangerous going on that I can't justify analytically. But my instincts told me I was in danger in a way I'd never been prepared for. We lay there in silence while he silently stood in the hallway for hours, hoping that our own silence would keep him from approaching further. Eventually, he crept back down the hallway to his bedroom. Seeing an opportunity, we quietly and quickly got our shit together, sneaked out to my car, and left.
Great. Good job, my dudes.
At that point, I'm feeling like I can't believe that worked.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't seem like he's eaten a long time, so he probably doesn't have a lot of fuel in the tank.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like chasing after anybody.
But if someone's possessed, though, well, you don't know this, you don't believe this, but if someone's possessed, they could have the strength of, that's 10 times their capability. Like Annalise Michelle squeezing that apple with one hand.
Yeah, but I don't think this guy is squeezing any apples.
Right, well,
it sounds
we'll
like
see.
he's mostly concerned with pooping the bed over and over.
After the event, I did a little bit of digging, talked to mutual friends, and drove out to John's parents' place to talk to them, but hit dead ends everywhere. Apparently, he left town. I even spoke to a friend of mine who's an officer about a welfare check, but as I didn't know where he went, they couldn't really do much. His parents left town too, and no one that I know has seen or heard from John since. I've mostly tried to forget it all happened. Of course, there are possible explanations to his strange behavior, perhaps a psychotic break, or maybe drugs. It occurred to me more recently that I should have considered the fact that he might have been seriously ill, but I honestly believe none of these are the answer. I realized nothing overtly paranormal took place, but my gut tells me that something well out of the ordinary was taking place. He had an inhuman presence, akin to a predator. I've wondered about possessions or doppelgangers and all kinds of things.
Ew, the
Something tells me
doppelganger
I
stuff.
wasn't dealing with the guy I had lived with at that point. It felt like a different being altogether. I'm torn between wishing I'd investigated more thoroughly at the time and being glad I stayed clear of whatever was going on after my brief brush with it. I don't know what he was after. I don't even know if he knew we saw him in the dark. But I think our being awake prevented something truly awful from happening. And yet, it's a big question mark, really. If you don't believe me, I don't blame you. So, are you scared? Let's see if
Is it
this
real?
is a real story.
It can't be real.
Something Got My Friend was posted by an anonymous user to the Truth Is Here subreddit, and it is a true story.
No.
No, I think this person
No,
made
wait
it
a
up.
second.
Here's the thing. No. I'm not
I don't know, man. I mean, look, if it was a fake story, you would think there'd be a bigger bang at the end.
Yeah.
Nah, no.
It's a fun yarn, but you know that thing when you watch like a horror movie and you're frustrated because the people are just making the wrong decisions?
Yes, yes, yes.
This was that, but like the entire story.
It seems like on this Reddit, there's a lot of comments of people who obviously believe this is a true story, and there's part of me that believes that too. That this could have been like this guy got out of control with drugs, or it was a mental health thing. But once again, I just keep going back to that hole and the lack of nutrition.
I mean, they could have been Grubhubbing some Happy Meals or something.
No
Yeah,
food,
sure.
no nada.
It's possible.
And-
Either way, I'm creeped out. That was
Like,
unsettling.
how
I'm looking
else
forward
are
to
you gonna
drinking
make a
water
hole?
from my fresh, clean Brita in my fridge. Not
Exactly.
sponsored by Brita. Good night.
Don't let the slug man bite.
And for real though, like, if you think something's weird with the house, why don't you just leave? Like drive back once you're just like, oh, this is disgusting. We're not gonna stay the night. Like, no. Yeah, impossible. The home invasion one made sense because you know, like, someone breaks into your house, you don't really have much time to do,
This
and so you hide in the attic.
contains content that some might find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Nature
It's
is
an
life's
animation.
great tool to clear the mind. A bit of perspective to remind you how small you, and likewise your problems, really are. Still, there are times when that perspective isn't always so friendly, and the smallness feels helpless, drowning you in dread. In today's story, we'll see how long our narrator can tread water.
Water.
I'm Ryan Bergara, and this is Are You Scared? A show where I tell my friend Shane Madej the internet's scariest
Why do both of
stories
you look like you've
that
been
may
sweating in your
or may
room?
not be true. Now, I have not read this story before, and neither has Shane. So lock your doors, turn off the lights, and let's see if we can make it until the end. Rabbits in the Creek.
There is a little rabbits in the creek.
I'm
There's a
writing
little
this
you,
because
yeah.
my family won't talk about it anymore. I'm the only one who can't seem to forget.
How?
I was raised on the outskirts of Preston, a small town in southern Idaho with a population of around 5,000. My more immediate community was an isolated dead-end dirt road called Bear Creek. Less than 20 families lived on the Bear Creek. I didn't mind being so isolated. I grew up in the comfort of wide fields and close neighbors that only rural people know. We were a Mormon community, very church-centered, very community-centered. All the young girls, myself included, were part of the young women's group, and all of the boys were members of the local Boy Scout troop, which doubled as a church group in our area. We had 4th of July parties at the local ballpark and swam in the nearby reservoir.
Sounds like a very small town.
It was a good, quiet community.
This all sounds very fun to me. I've always longed to grow up with a bunch of hillbillies in sort of a holler somewhere, you know?
I don't know if it's accurate right off the bat to call these people hillbillies.
Yeah, it's fair. It's Idaho. They're Hicks.
I guess. So just because you live in a small town doesn't mean that you're a hillbilly.
He said they all lived around the creek and played jugs together.
There was no part about jugs. There was no part where any of them were blowing air into jugs at different octaves. There was none of that. My house, a 92-year-old farmhouse built by my great-great-grandfather, was situated on a small hill surrounded by a wide grass field on one side and a snaking dirt road on the other. Across the road was the creek bottoms. Being so isolated, it wasn't uncommon for animals to come down from the mountains. We had a female moose who brought her calf down and lived in our orchard every winter, and the occasional lion wasn't unheard of either. The summer when I turned 8, a smaller mountain lion was spotted several times in our area. We weren't worried. The big cat stayed away from the farms and usually moved on when the area didn't yield enough food.
I am concerned that the lions are going to play into this in a way, but honestly, I could be up for some natural peril here. Like a lion just lodging its fangs into somebody's noggin, you know? It happens like 15 times a week in Los Angeles. Some dingleberry will be out there walking in the mountains.
A dingleberry?
I'll just jump on them.
That's what you get for wanting to take a picture with the Hollywood sign. The same summer, my neighbor, Peyton, was working on his Eagle Scout project.
Thank you for
he
20
loved
months.
National Geographic and thought it would be pretty cool to try putting together a National Geographic submission on our little creek bottoms. The young lion that happened to be in our area at the same time made him especially excited. He decided he wanted to try and get pictures of the lion and emailed the National Geographic team for advice. They recommended setting up an automatic camera that takes shots every couple of seconds in an area the lion was known to visit. They also recommended setting some kind of bait, so the lion was more likely to come by. No one in the creek liked the idea of live bait or carrion, so we came up with a different kind of bait. Glad they're showing restraint here by saying, hey, maybe live bait's not a good idea when it comes to taking photos of a lion.
Yeah.
Granted, if you were out there, Shane, I'd be more than happy to throw you out there because I feel like if any lion came towards you, all you would have to do is crane upward and really extend out all of your limbs, and the lion would flee in terror.
Oh yeah, I'd freak him out. Yeah, that's fair.
If you made yourself really big?
I
don't like it.
Like if I came at you like that?
That's not good. No, I don't like it. We decided to set up an audio recording of a dying rabbit and play it on a loop through a set of speakers hidden in the willows. I remember when everyone was down in the bottoms testing the speakers, and I heard the noise for the first time.
I don't know.
The sound of a dying rabbit is horrible. It's been described as being almost identical to the sound of a screaming child.
Huh?
The camera was set up, the speakers were set up, everything was perfect. Peyton explained that he would allow the camera and recording to play uninterrupted for a week, and then he would go check on it. This would give time for our scent to fade from the bottoms and encourage the lion to come closer. At first, I was worried about the noise. It was a truly horrible noise, and our house was the closest to the setup point in the bottoms. My father assured me that the noise wouldn't reach as far as our house, and I was relieved when we arrived home that night and he was correct. The bottoms were far enough away that I couldn't hear anything. I remember Peyton the next day at church. He was fidgety and excited to check on the equipment, but he had to wait a week, which everybody kept reminding him. He couldn't risk going down too early and scaring the lion away for good. That night, I woke up to an awful noise. I sat ramrod straight in my bed with my eyes wide in the dark, hands clutched so hard my palms bore the indent of my fingernails for hours after. I knew that noise. It was the recording of the rabbit. It sounded faint and far off, like it was coming from the bottoms, but that was impossible because the recording had been going all night the previous day and I hadn't heard a thing. I didn't sleep that night. I was too scared to get out of bed and wake my parents. The recording played over and over again.
Ew.
I had the loop memorized. In the morning, I stumbled into the kitchen for breakfast. My mom and dad were sitting at the kitchen table. They too had dark rings under their eyes. I hadn't been the only one who'd heard it. Mom was convinced that the equipment must have been broken. She wanted to go down into the bottoms to check it out. Dad refused. He was a kind, gentle man and didn't want to stir up any unnecessary drama. He was sure there had been a strong wind last night, and the wind was carrying the noise farther than its natural reach. He told us to listen. We did. He was right, we couldn't hear it now. We forgot about it and went about our daily going.
Huh.
It's kind of crazy that wind could carry things farther. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's weird, right? That is a thing, though, I think.
I guess so.
I can look it up. Do you need me to do some research? I'll be the guy in the van.
I don't know, I don't think we need to.
Speaker, I know,
Too
right?
late, I've already looked it up. Wind affects the propagation of sound by refracting its waves. I've looked it up, we've cracked it.
I'm glad you verified that with a short 2-second search. The next night, it happened again. I stayed up in bed with my back to the wall. The screaming was even louder than before, but this time, something was different. It was lower pitched than I remember, and parts of the loop were slowed down, as if the recording were warped in places. At times, the loop did not loop naturally, and instead picked up at a random place in the middle. My mom didn't mention anything at the breakfast table, but both her and my dad seemed tense. The third night, I mustered the courage to stand beside my bedroom window and look out into the yard. For a moment I stood, rooted to the spot, my hands shaking no matter how hard I clenched them. The noise sidled in through the cracks in the window. I watched the outline of the trees in the yard. Perfectly still. Not even the slightest breeze stirred their branches. My mom announced that she would be going to visit her sisters in town the next day and would probably spend the night there. She invited me to come along, but I was a daddy's girl at heart and chose to stay at the farm. I took Mom's place beside Dad in their bed that night, but even that didn't help. I don't think my dad was asleep either, for he was unnaturally still the whole night.
I love that Mom's like, peace.
Not even offering an explanation, just like, all right, well, ask your father. See you later, I'm going shopping.
I think I'm gonna go on a little gals weekend. Bye, everybody.
She did offer to take her daughter with her. It's just that her daughter was a
probably
daddy's
just doesn't
girl,
want to
and that's
sleep
her right
there.
to die at the farm with her father.
Yeah.
For whatever is coming towards them. We began to hear the noise during the day too. I was drawing with chalk on the sidewalk when it happened. My shoulders tensed and the hairs on the back of my neck prickled. There was only one scream. A short, high-pitched one. And then the recording fell silent. It happened again several times throughout the day, but never the whole loop, just clips from it. Later that evening, Peyton's dad came up the driveway. He said he was looking for their dog, a sweet yellow lab who had been missing since that morning. Dad said he was sorry and that we hadn't seen her. I stared at him, silently begging him to mention the recording, but he didn't. He was a quiet man after all. He didn't want to bring up any unnecessary drama. Mom stayed away the whole week. Dad and I didn't sleep. By Saturday, the screaming could be heard constantly, though it seemed to have deviated from the familiar loop entirely. I didn't recognize any of it. Sometimes the screams were thin and long. Other times, they were hardly more than growls. Once, while my dad had been heating up meatloaf for lunch, the noise rose into such a rancorous din that he dropped the plate and it shattered. I pressed my hands over my ears where I sat at the table and squeezed my eyes shut, but it didn't help. The noise forced its way in through the cracks of my fingers and pinched my throat and rattled in my ribcage. The din lasted for a whole minute, then fell silent. Dad was shaking, That was the last we heard of the noise that day. This is obviously getting quite alarming here. Let's put it this way, I'm not getting in line to be the first person to go down there and retrieve this equipment.
It ain't right.
Peyton came by Saturday evening to ask permission to cross our road to collect the equipment.
What
He
if
was
it's a
so excited.
Wendigo?
I watched him disappear into the creek bottoms with a sense of
A
tired
Wendigo
relief.
just replicating the
After the equipment was
sound.
gone, it would all stop. I couldn't wait to get a full night's sleep.
Oh.
Okay. How is this person not concerned for Peyton? If you've been hearing everything you've been hearing all week, and now like here comes Peyton kind of just walking down down that dirt road, going right past you towards where the sounds are coming from, is there not any obligation to be like, hey dude, wouldn't go down there if I were you?
I mean, honestly, if Peyton is gonna feed the beast, then maybe the sounds will stop. Maybe the narrator's
Welcome
like,
to the starving
I'll send
virgin,
Peyton
you
down
know?
there as a bit of a guinea pig.
Yes, that's that was why I was alarmed by it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's certainly
because that's
not
an
a
alarm.
friendly move.
Well, and you're like, wait here, Ryan. I see the chess move here. She's obviously sending him down there so that the lion will stop
supposed to be
making all
going
the
on
noise
for
and she
like
can
a
go to
week.
sleep. Not a minute later, I spotted Peyton coming back up from the creek. I was confused. It had taken us much longer to set up the camera and speakers, so I'd only assumed it would take just as long to collect them. My breath stilled when Peyton came closer. He didn't look right. His eyes were wide and his face pale. Something wet dribbled from his chin and onto his shirt. I later realized it was vomit. My dad caught him before he fell and demanded to know what had happened. Peyton couldn't speak. He just cried.
There's something more viscerally terrifying about seeing a boy throw up than any sort of red man or slug man. I don't want to see a boy throw up.
The last time I was so scared I thought I was gonna throw up was at the Old City Jail. I know what Peyton's feeling right now, so I'm wondering what he saw down there.
The Wendigo.
He called his dad. I looked after Peyton as both my dad and his dad went into the bottoms. They were gone a long time. When they returned, their faces were grim, and they smelled funny. I noticed red on my dad's hands. I asked what was wrong, but they brushed right past me and immediately called the police. Nobody would tell me what had happened. I sat on the couch as a blur of neighbors and police officers swirled around me.
Wait a minute. Can I hazard a guess?
Yeah, I should go for it, yeah.
Ma got eaten. I don't know how.
That is possible. That is not my guess, but I'm gonna hold mine close to the chest.
Okay.
It does not involve Ma. At one point, an officer placed something on the kitchen table and left. I looked into the kitchen curiously. It was the camera from the bottoms. I wish I hadn't looked.
Oh.
The camera was a little banged up. Tiny scratches and dents covered the plastic casing. When I lifted it, my hand stuck to the plastic. Something tacky and odorous covered the screen, but it turned on fine. The first set of photos were normal. Just the pussy willows cast green in the glow of the night setting. As I continued to click through them, they quickly became strange. At one point, the camera angle changed, as if the camera had been knocked from its post. Grass now obscured most of the frame. Flecks of red appeared on the lens and remained for the rest of the sets. One photo made me pause. There was a figure in this one, or half of a figure, as most of the upper torso hadn't made it into the frame. I thought it could be human, but it didn't look like it should be standing upright.
Wendigo.
Its legs were twisted, like an animal, and it seemed to be having difficulty supporting itself in an upright position. Beside the legs, a long, thin arm hung. Whatever it was must have been stooped over, for its fingertips hung below its crooked knees. The next set was different.
It was the hash.
It was as if the camera had been picked up and was now being held. The first photo was of the bottoms at night. The next startled me. I had to look closely before deciding what it was. A rabbit had been laid in the bushes, but its ears and most of its scalp had been peeled away. The next was of the same rabbit, but a thin, dark hand was holding it up against the sky. Its limp body hung like something from a nightmare. In the following photos, more rabbits joined the one.
each with their ears and scalp removed. Then a cat. Then more cats. Then a dog, the yellow lab. Then the lion. The following photo was of 7 rabbits, 3 cats, 1 dog, and the lion all laid out in a row facing the same way.
Oh.
Their arms and legs had been arranged as if they were marching, like some parade. All of their scalps had been removed, and tiny white glints of their skulls could be seen. The last photo was overly bright, like the photo had been taken too close with the flash on. An eye dominated the frame, but it was yellowed and crusty and had a bar pupil like a horse. In the bottom corner, the edge of a mouth could be seen. No lips, just teeth, sharp and little, with wide gaps of red gum between them. I wish I hadn't looked. I heard my dad talking to the police outside. They said the speakers had malfunctioned. The recording had only played the first night. So, are you scared?
How would they know that? That doesn't make any sense.
For the recording,
Hey, I'm a cop, but I'm sort of a speaker cop, and
Yeah. I'm a cop, but I also have a second job. I'm in the Geek Squad at Best Buy, and I could tell these speakers haven't been playing for at least a week. That's true. I didn't think about that.
Now come on down to Best Buy. If you give them my name, they'll get you 15% off on some of this.
All right. So now let's find out if this is a real story. According to the producers, Rabbits in the Creek is a creepypasta.
Yeah,
that is a true story written by an anonymous user.
What?
Well, here, look.
A creepy story.
I will say this.
What?
A lot of times creepypastas will claim to be true, but they actually aren't true.
Yeah.
But it does make it more creepy. I think that might be the case here just because of the, alien in a photo or whatever that humanoid figure is in the photo.
Looking like
Most of the story,
alien,
I
though.
think, is fake. But that said, I love it. I had a good time with this. I love the approach.
Either way, I will chalk it up to a very entertaining story, and I certainly was creeped out, so kudos to the anonymous writer.
Now write a sequel about moose.
Well, hope we see you next week. Good night.
Yeah, it's just one of those creepypastas that are like, but it's a true story. Dun dun dun. And then we're all just like, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. I regret everything, but it was so good.
This video contains content that some might find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh my god.
To be a taxi driver is to accept the premise that you can literally pick up anyone.
Not the time
and with that comes an obvious element of risk.
I don't
But
like
what if,
that one.
by the time you realize the stranger sitting in your back seat is possibly dangerous, it's too late?
Mamma
For our
mia.
narrator, he'll see what happens when he's literally in the driver's seat when he doesn't want to be.
When you're an Uber driver
I'm
and
Ryan
then you pick up
Bergara,
a
and this
serial
is
killer.
Are You Scared?
Hi-yo.
A show where I tell my friend Shane Madej the internet's scariest stories that may or may not be true. Now, I have not read this story before, and neither has Shane. So lock your doors, turn off the lights, and let's see if we can make it until the end. The Passenger. It was 11:42 p.m. on a Saturday night. I had just dropped off my last passenger for the day, and as I began to drive my cab back towards work, I imagined my soft, cozy bed that I knew was waiting for me. My eyelids grew heavy. It had been a full day of picking up and dropping off people, as it normally was on weekends, and all I wanted to do was call it a night. I struggled to keep my eyes open, straightening my body and rubbing my eyes to stay awake.
Wait. You brought up a good point. Are there still taxis around? There are still taxis around. Okay, so one time, I I guess more recently, I guess. So I went to New York, right? And I always use Uber because I have the Uber app. And I feel like more comfortable with like the Uber app. And I get out of the airport, right? I get out of the airport. I'm walking to like, you know how like they have like little like station areas where it's like, oh yeah, you can go here for like pick up, drop off with like other folks, and then here's like where all the shared ride apps are. They have one for like an area with all the taxis lined up, and when you first get out and you're gonna go and make your way all the way to like where the Uber stuff is. I think they also have this in like, I think when I went to the VTuber convention, this also happened too. where the taxi drivers are literally calling out to you. They're saying like, oh, you need a taxi. But like, I like ignored every single one of them. And I was making my way to the Uber one. And they were all like cursing. They're like, what the fuck? Like, I'm never gonna get a freaking ride here. And it's just like a bunch of like taxis just like no one's going into. Like literally no one's going into the taxis. Like there's still taxis, but no one wants to go in them at all. Everyone wants to use something else. In Korea, there's a ton of taxis. I'm sure like certain areas would use like taxis more. Yeah. But yeah, like the areas I've been to were like when I get out of the airport cracks me up because it's just like no one goes to the taxis. They just go all to the rideshare app areas. Yeah.
But when I awoke to the sound of a car horn and found the car halfway on the other side of the road, I knew it was time to pull over. I drove to a street I knew was almost always deserted, especially at this time of night, and took a short nap to re-energize me for the drive home. I parked under a dimly lit street lamp and let sleep pull me under.
A precarious situation to begin with. Sleeping in a car anywhere is, it's usually a last-ditch effort. I slept in my trunk once on New Year's Eve. But story for another day.
You gotta. Well, I think it's a story for now.
I have a story for that too.
Time for the spooky stories.
It's
are you scared?
I think it's time for you to tell the story. Why were you sleeping in the trunk of your own car?
It was very cold, and I needed to be warm.
That's the story?
Ryan, that's all I can say.
It felt like I had only been asleep for a few minutes when I was jolted awake to the sound of loud and frantic knocking on the car door. Disoriented, I blearily looked around to see who had woken me up. It was dark, and it took a while for my eyes to acclimate to my surroundings. But finally, as I turned toward the rear passenger door, I could make out a shadowy figure. In that moment, I couldn't tell you why I did what I did. Maybe it was a cab driver's impulse. Maybe it was because I had just woken up and my sleep-muddled brain couldn't catch up in time. Or maybe it was just because I had never been the sharpest tool in the shed. Good self-burn right there.
Yeah. No ego to this person.
You're asleep in your car on the side of the road. Somebody knocks on your door, even if, and let's say you're Shane Madej, the cabbie.
Oh, wow.
You opening the door?
Wait, hang on. Let me shut up. Let me get into the role here.
Oh, my God. Okay. Nicer way to say that.
Shut up.
I got the beads behind me. I got the beads back here.
What do you got hanging on your mirror?
I got a rosary. I'm deeply religious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I got
Any kind of air freshener of some sort?
I got one of the hula ladies,
I think we've set the stage here enough. You're a cab driver.
What a long day of driving. But these folks don't got no respect for a guy like me.
And then you hear...
Hey, who's that?
And you look up, and you just see a shadowy figure.
A shadowy figure?
Yeah, you say that out loud. You letting them in?
Yeah, come on in, pal. Where you need a ride to?
Here's what I would do. I would not let them in. Whatever the reason, I unlocked the car doors.
To
Looking
a chocobo?
into the rearview mirror,
He has
I heard a click
chocobo hair for
and saw the
sure.
car door open. The person entered the car and shut the door.
This
Once in
reminds
the
me
car,
of
I could see the person
that one
was a woman.
supernatural
Her face was shadowed, but I could see that her long dark hair draped over a white nightgown, the only discernible feature I could
It's
make
the
out
white
in the dark.
lady.
I turned around, about to say something,
probably to inquire why this woman was on a deserted road in the middle of the night.
white lady.
Her hand suddenly shot out towards me. My eyes darted toward the hand. Alarm bells were ringing in my head as I prepared myself for a physical
Immediately
assault.
said white
But
girl.
all movement stopped
Wow.
once the hand had fully been extended. I registered
Is it
that
money?
she was holding something between her thumb and forefinger. It was a piece of paper. She held it midair, offering it silently for me to take. I stared, my eyes narrowing in confusion and mild suspicion before I reached out and hesitantly accepted it. In the distance, I heard the faint rumbling of thunder. It was about to rain soon. Cautiously, I examined the piece of paper. In the darkness of the car, I couldn't inspect it as thoroughly as I wanted to, but from what little I could see on the piece of the paper, scribbled out in a messy scrawl was an unfamiliar address. Out of muscle memory, I entered the address into my
This
phone's
is literally
GPS
the Supernatural
and found
episode.
that it was less than a half-hour's drive away.
I think this man is being entirely too polite. Because if I'm this driver and this spooky lady gets in my car, I'd shine my probably cell phone light in her face and be like, sorry, can't see you back there. You're looking awfully spooky. How's it going tonight? Do you mind speaking up a little? I can't hear you.
I mean, white nightgown to me means either this person's in some serious trouble or going to cause some serious trouble.
Yeah. What if
White
you
Knight
out-creep
Meow,
them?
she's the
I mean,
white
I'd like
lady.
to see what you mean.
You just sort of turn around and wink and go, sorry if it gets a little smelly in here.
Oh, and then you just shit your pants.
Okay.
In fact, you might not even have to out-creep them. You might just shitting your pants here might save your life.
Right,
They hand you the address and you just go,
You probably have to shampoo your car after that. But,
yeah, but I mean...
but you'll be alive to shampoo your car.
I turned around in my seat and faced the woman, wondering what her deal was. A moment of unnerving silence. I turned back to face the wheel, her eyes burning into the back of my head. This whole situation was very strange, but no matter how bizarre I found the circumstances, I couldn't bring myself to stop. Something was holding me back. An unsettling feeling deep in my bones told me to just drive and not question anything. Reluctantly, I pulled into the street and started driving. The atmosphere in the car could only be described as tense. Then, it started to rain. As I continued driving, I found that my eyes kept flicking towards the rear-view mirror to look at the passenger. I had the most inexplicable feeling that she would disappear at any moment, but no matter how many times I looked, she was still there. She remained unmoving, like a statue, almost as if she wasn't even breathing. Every little sound now seemed intensified within the silence. The little pit-patters of rain dropping onto the surface of the car, the creaking of the car wipers as they swiped from right to left, and the telltale clicking of the turn signal when I came to a junction. All these tiny sounds, which would normally go by unnoticed, now made me very uneasy. I reached for the radio, hoping to fill the silence, but was met with prickling static. Dismayed, I turned the radio off and decided to fill the silence the only other way I knew how, by talking. So, I know it's none of my business, but what's got you taking a cab at this time of night? Got a meeting to go to? I tried to joke. The air was still as I received no response.
He's making it worse, I would argue.
What is he supposed to do?
I've gotten into plenty of lifts where neither of us speak, and it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, but this is so much different than that.
I mean, I've never gotten into a lift in a long white nightgown in the middle of the night. Sure.
No, and I know for a fact that you don't wear that white nightgown out. You only wear it when you go to sleep in our ghost investigations.
Wait, what? For real?
That is correct.
And that's, I think you had said because it tricks the ghosts into thinking.
Fools them. That's science.
This place must be real special if it's gotten you out of the house at such a late hour. I tried again. Dead silence. You got someone waiting for you there? Anyone who knows you're out here? At that question, I finally got a response. One which made me regret speaking up at all. It was a low growl. Something you would normally hear a frightened animal. It stopped me dead in my tracks. I forced my mind to focus on driving so as to not crash the car out of shock. Now this
wait a
delights me.
minute.
I'm not. This is a top tier response to this situation by this lady.
I'm imagining less of a guttural like, and more of like a, you know.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
you're imagining like a cartoon dog, like a. Like maybe some saliva falling out of her like jowls. Yeah, like that. That is funny. What do you say, by the way, to that?
Inside
If I'm the
that
cabbie, I'll say, yeesh, sorry I asked.
Look, when someone growls at you, the options.
They're there. All bets are
You're
off
in the
at that
Genshin
point.
Quest.
That you can do whatever you want. That's where pooping your pants is appropriate, maybe.
Yeah. That's probably the poop cue.
The
The rest of the journey
my
was
God.
spent in deliberate silence, as I didn't dare ask any more
I
questions.
need fiber.
I was scared of something else happening, something more ominous than just a
I
growl.
want fiber.
Reaching a traffic light, I tapped my finger on the steering wheel restlessly. I stared at the red light with bated breath, willing it to just turn green so that I could get to the destination and drop off the passenger as soon as possible. Looking around, I realized the rain had gotten heavier and was now pouring onto the streets. I glanced at the rearview mirror, expecting to once again see the vague silhouette of the passenger. But what I saw instead made me turn around in horror. The face of the woman was now visible under the well-lit streetlights of the cross junction. I breathed in sharply as I saw that the whole right side of her face was bright red, covered in peeling burn marks and blistering skin. The wounds looked fresh, as if they were only recently inflicted. In silent terror, I noticed the blank stare of her glossy gray eyes gazing into the distance. Her pupils were hollow and unfocused, void of any emotion. I felt a chill go down my spine as her empty, soulless eyes turned towards me.
This guy's rude. This guy's rude. He's a rude creep. This lady sounds like she's had a night. And now she's got this guy. First, he's been badgering her. She's probably like, boy, I can't wait to get home and put some, triple antibiotic on my face or something.
Yeah, get some Neosporin on this bad boy.
He's turning around and going, oh, oh.
Well, I don't think he did that.
It sounds like he did.
Well, let's see how he responds.
Okay.
I couldn't stop myself from letting out a horrified gasp. Well, maybe he did go, I realized my mistake as soon as I made it. The empty, soulless eyes hardened, then came to life. There was now a burning fire in that previously vacant stare. I had angered her. Not her, my mind supplied. It.
As far as I can tell, he's like, oh, this lady's burned. You know what? She's a monster. He called her it. Please, have some compassion.
To that degree, then, you're saying that when someone sees Freddy Krueger, that they should be compassionate.
Okay, yes, if I saw a man in a striped sweater with knives for fingers and burns on 100% of his skin, I might be like, okay, well, obviously, that's a nightmare man. Sure.
The same hair-raising growl from before snapped me out of my stupor, and I floored the gas pedal, traffic light be damned. I could feel the adrenaline pumping through my veins as I drove with reckless abandon. With sweat dripping down my face, I directed my attention to the splash of my car tires against the rain, which was now coming down in buckets. I forced my eyes onto the puddles of water on the road, ensuring that they didn't drift towards the rearview mirror. I didn't know what I would find if I looked, and I definitely didn't want to find out. I drove and drove, my mind in a mental state of disarray. All I could think of was getting to the drop-off address. We were now in the hills,
right?
and I drove my cab as quickly and carefully as I could around the winding turns in the rain. Suddenly, it was a straight road. With each second, I built up courage to add a bit more gas, hoping to reach the destination faster. The little bravado I had left flew straight out the window when I was forced to immediately hit the brakes, my hands tightening around the wheel to brace myself. I had driven right to the edge of a cliff. There was maybe around 3 feet of ground between my car and the edge of what I assumed was a long way down, and I let out a shaky sigh. I checked my phone to see
So
if this was
nice.
the right location. And to
Hello?
my relief, it was. All of a sudden, I heard the click of the car door opening, the sound of the pouring rain in the open air. Then, the car door closing. Even while hearing all of this, I kept my head strictly towards the front of the car, facing the cliff.
Did she pay him?
Oh, yeah, baby.
I'm gonna assume
Welcome
at
on,
this
thank you
point
for
he just
fueling
wanted
the
her
ship.
out of his car. At that point, I don't think he's thinking about the buck he has to make.
I've been on her side up until now, but if I'm him, I might be not like laying on the horn, but I'd give a, you know, like, hey, it's a
Hey.
half hour drive.
I could see in the periphery of my vision that she was moving slowly in the rain, and I watched in trepidation as she walked directly in front of my car and stood right at the edge of the cliff, her back facing towards me. There was a mild ringing noise in my ears, and my heart was beating out of my chest. The winds were howling, and I held my breath for what would happen next.
Is she gonna jump?
It all happened so fast that I almost missed it. A flash of lightning struck, followed by the deafening roar of thunder, and then she was gone over the ledge. I stepped out of the car, moving towards the edge carefully with my phone in my hand. I used my phone as a flashlight and peered over the cliff. There was nothing there but wet rocks and sand. I drove home that night, shaken to the core. I had never believed in ghosts before, but after that night, you could say that I was a lot more open to the idea. Despite my exhaustion, I got no sleep that night. I would never sleep in my car again, and I would never tell anyone what happened. Some days, I feel like the events of that night are just a distant memory, but I never let myself get comfortable enough to forget. Whenever things get too convenient, I open the glove box and pull it out. It being the note from that night, solid and firm in my hands. It's a harsh reminder that everything I witnessed was real, and I hadn't just imagined it. I keep it as a warning to always be wary of the passengers I pick up, because I can never know if the passenger I have in my car at that very moment could be my last. So, are you scared?
Ew, the flash.
Well,
I don't
Cool.
like that.
To time it with the lightning is like some David Blaine stuff.
Anyways, let's find out if this story is true or false. The passenger was submitted to us for this show by Fatiha Malik and is a true story.
No,
it's not. Here's the author's note. Fun fact. This story was actually written based on an alleged true story that my cab driver told me. The main differences between this story and his are he had actually been slapped awake instead of the knocking on the car door.
Slapped?
Yeah, I guess physically slapped.
Oh,
Jesus.
Wake up!
Wow, thank you for 20
I know you don't
months.
believe this
Let's
story is
go.
true. I can actually believe that maybe someone picks up somebody, they think it's a person, it's not, they just disappear. I actually think that is possible.
I wouldn't call it a true story, and I would never believe any story any cabbie told me ever. You can't trust it.
Watch who you're sitting next to.
It's a
Good
fake
night.
story
And if you're a
told
cabbie,
by one of his
don't,
cab drivers. I don't
Just
know.
open your door for any.
I can't hold this smile forever.
Just let people live their lives, frankly. And,
Hello?
be nice to
Just say sweet dreams.
burn victims.
Just
Sweet
say it.
dreams.
Wait. Can I? Oh, I had an idea, guys. I have an idea. What if I just had the next one play, but I'm crying and dying and fighting for my life in the bathroom? What if I'm fighting for my life in the bathroom? I'll just play the thing. I'll have like a little sign in front of my face, and then I'll watch it with you guys while I die. Yeah. I have a phone. I have an extra phone. Oh! It'll be here. Okay, cool. I'll go comment on my phone instead. Because you real hard. Ah! Wait. Where's my poop? Where's my poop sign? I'm gonna make this smaller. Where's the lock for the poop sign? Okay, that's better. Okay, there we go. I put it right about here. Okay, this is good. Where's the poop? Then, okay, and then I'll just have to move it here. And let's just bring this up here. And then, yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll be on my phone. And die. Ma'am, I'll watch with you guys.
This video contains content that some might find disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. No one really knows why people sleepwalk. It was once thought people were acting on autopilot or the subconscious mind. The paranoia being, you're acting out your truest self. But what if your true self is darker or violent? For our narrator, he's about to meet his boyfriend, perhaps for the first time. I'm Ryan Bergara, and this is Are You Scared? A show where I tell my friend Shane Madej the internet's scariest stories that may or may not be true. Now, I have not read this story before, and neither has Shane. So lock your doors, turn off the lights, and let's see if we can make it until the end. My boyfriend used to sleepwalk. Before we jump into today's story, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Surfshark VPN. As you will gather from watching this show, safety and security are two very important aspects. Most internet users aren't even aware of the amount of surveillance, limitation, and data mining done with their personal information on a daily basis. Surfshark VPN can get rid of all these problems for you with an easy-to-use, one-for-all solution. Surfshark turns you into an anonymous and hard-to-trace online user and makes the internet a safer and more enjoyable place for you. Use promo code WATCHER to get 83% off plus 3 extra months for free. Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk. The link is in the description for the episode, so check that out after the episode. Now, back to Are You Scared? I never technically broke up with my last boyfriend. I don't know why that's the thing I keep coming back to after everything that happened, but it really does bug me. Maybe it's just a closure thing. Maybe it's like knocking on wood or avoiding the phrase, what could possibly go wrong? Little things we do to make ourselves feel safe, even if they don't really protect us. I don't know where that boyfriend is now. I can't decide if that's worse or better than knowing. It started out fine. We met through a mutual friend who ran a monthly video game night at a gay bar downtown. I wouldn't say we hit it off right away, but we liked each other. And so we kept hanging out until we decided to start calling our hangouts dates. And then we were dating. He seemed like a pretty cool guy. We were together for a couple of years before I asked him to move in with me. We lived together for another year after that before things started going really wrong.
Something is amiss because it sounds like they were together for a very long time. So the fact that there's no solid breakup here is a little concerning.
Obviously things went south, but in terms of why that could have happened, it doesn't seem like rushing into it was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the only thing that could cause that is a very, very bad set of circumstances where it's like, no time for formalities. I'm just never going to see you again.
What occasion could call for no time for formalities besides like the witness protection program or something like that?
If someone really does someone dirty, maybe they're just like, that's it. You don't deserve it. I'm out of here.
You ever done someone dirty?
No.
You dirty dog?
I'm not a dirty dog. I'm a clean dog. I'm a clean kitty, baby.
I don't like that. Up to that point, it hadn't been perfect, obviously. We had our disagreements and childish moments and communication breakdowns, all the stuff that people who get to date in their teens have worked through by the time they have their own apartments. We didn't really talk about our relationship issues with anybody. But, like I said, for the first few years, it wasn't that much of a problem. We'd just gotten into the habit of putting on a perfect face for the outside world. I'd gotten into the habit of never talking about anything weird or unpleasant my boyfriend did. So, I didn't tell anybody when he started sleepwalking. Now we're starting to get into some ominous foreshadowing here.
I don't fuck with that. I don't enjoy sleepwalkers. They're freaky.
Yes.
I don't like them.
Have you ever sleptwalked in your life?
I don't think I have.
I knew one of my friends growing up, he would sleepwalk, and you're gonna love this. This will terrify you.
Yeah. What is this?
He would, as a child, go to the front door because he thought someone was there, and he would open it, and he would talk to no one. That's no good. If I had a kid like that, I'd be sending them away.
The first time it happened, it was more surreal than anything. I woke up in the middle of the night to this weird rhythmic clicking noise. It was so regular that at first, I thought it was just my watch on the nightstand. But then I noticed my boyfriend wasn't in bed with me. The bathroom in our apartment adjoins directly to the bedroom, so I could see that he wasn't in there either. The clicking noise was coming from outside the bedroom.
I'm imagining him playing the spoons. Just a little.
Or he's out there doing Morse code. I figured it was something the neighbors were doing, or maybe my boyfriend was having a midnight snack. But it kept going. It kept going, and he didn't come back for so long that eventually I got nervous and went to find him. He was standing at the door to the apartment, trying to open it. He'd turned the doorknob, tugged the door back against the deadbolts, and then turned the doorknob back to center. Turn, pull, turn back, just like that. Over and over and over. And he was definitely asleep. You could just kind of tell that there wasn't anything going on in there. I really tried not to be freaked out about it. Are you creeped out by this? Because I'm pretty fucking creeped out by this, by the way.
I'm creeped out, but I feel like immediately I'd be like, hey, what are you doing?
Back when I used to live with my ex-girlfriend, one night she woke up, or I thought she had woken up, and she got up on the bed, like stood up on top of the mattress that I was also sleeping on. And I was like, what are you doing? And I looked up and she started doing 360s. She started just spinning around, doing 360s on the bed. And I was just like, if this is a bit, I'm not getting it. And then she hopped off the bed and then walked very fast and stiffly over to the bathroom. And I was just like, okay, I guess I'll follow her, because I was fully awake at this point because I was alarmed. I walked into the bathroom. Her face was just facing the corner of the bathroom, kind of like Blair Witch. And I said, hello. And I said her name and she didn't turn around. And so,
hello there.
And so what I did was I slowly approached her, just like in the movies, and I grabbed her shoulder. And she didn't like jolt at me like a zombie. She just kind of like opened her eyes and was just like, why am I in the bathroom? To this day, it still creeps me out. I don't know what that was all about. Never happened again.
To be fair, she was a freaky lady, man.
She was a nice lady. I knew enough about sleepwalking to know that this is kind of how it goes. People just get stuck in these little loops, and eventually they either go back to bed or they wake up. It was just that I had no idea what could have changed to make him start sleepwalking. As far as I knew, nothing was any different than it had been for the past 3 years. I kind of snuck over to him because I was freaked out, as much as I was trying not to be. He didn't react to me, didn't wake up, didn't change his rhythm or trying to open the door. I was as gentle as I could be about trying to wake him up. Just reached out and put a hand on his shoulder. The second I touched him, he stopped dead, like somebody had hit pause on a remote control somewhere. He still didn't wake up, but he didn't look at me. He just stopped. I tried talking to him and shaking him a little, but he stayed frozen still. Eventually, I had to pry his hand off the doorknob and walk him back to bed. Once I had him lying down, though, he went right back to sleep. I didn't. I stayed up watching him until dawn.
I always hate it when people are like, oh, you gotta be gentle with them. I'd be like,
is that a thing?
Splashing water in this guy's face.
So your reaction to that is to startle them with ice cold water?
Ice cold water? A broom?
A broom?
Or turn on a vacuum? That scares my cat sometimes if my cat's being...
Actually, that would be kind of funny if you put like the tube on their nose and you're like...
Yeah.
Just put the tube on their nutsack or something.
Now that's crazy. You were making fun of me and now you say put a vacuum tube to the nutsack.
We were already in cartoon territory. You put us there. You mentioned hitting them with a broomstick.
I feel like that could cause some serious damage.
I don't know if it would cause serious damage. What it would cause is a hilarious noise. I did talk to him about it, let him know what had happened, asked him if he knew anything that could have caused it. He didn't, and he didn't seem that worried about it either. I asked if he'd go see a doctor if it kept happening, and he said he'd only go if it got to be a problem.
If it was just a weird thing that happened sometimes and it wasn't hurting anybody, he didn't see any reason to waste the time and money on trying to fix it. So we just kind of let it drop. And it did keep happening. It wasn't any kind of regular, and it's hard to say now how often it happened. I want to say 2 or 3 times a month, but because it was random, it's hard to really remember.
If I did that once and my significant other was like,
go to the doctor.
You better go to a doctor, I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, it's like not a problem at that point. Yeah, I freaked you out a little bit, but I mean, like, there's no reason to bring somebody with a stethoscope in here.
If it happens 15 times,
just 15,
then you go to the doctor.
Is 15 the cutoff?
For me, yes. If it happens 15 times, I'm going to the doctor. Or if I murder someone, go to the doctor.
It got to be more annoying than anything. A few times a month, I would wake up in the middle of the night, and my boyfriend would be standing at the front door, trying to open it, and I would have to go get him and bring him back to bed. I couldn't really leave him to it. The clicking noise was just loud enough and just grating enough that it made it impossible for me to get back to sleep once it had...
Meh. Stinky. What's going on? What's poppin'? Hi. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the raid. I washed my hands! No! No! Oh. Now I have cramps. You can never admit that on cam. I washed my hand. What's poppin'? We VTubers don't do that. About washing our hands. It's not real. Excuse me. I feel offended. Hi. How's Gundam? How's Gundam? Ayo. I feel a lot better. But yeah, I have cramps now. Yeah! I'm not stinky. What's popping? I guess poop for success. Like a 50% successful rate. Bananas? Wait, bananas help with cramps. That's very tempting. Maybe I'll eat like 2. I'll get round 2. Man. What do you mean you have still on the controls? Hi, now. You don't know my personal password. How dare you? You don't have admin access. Where's my, I think I did, eat. But yeah, we're looking at Spooopy stuff if you guys want to stick around. I'm slowly dying. There you go.
Started.
Oh, yo.
I'd guess this went on for about 4 or 5 months.
Just punch them off.
I wasn't really keeping track. I do remember that it was summer when things finally got out of hand. It was pretty close to my birthday,
I put hand sanitizer on it.
I don't remember what we were doing the day before. As far as I know, it was a completely ordinary, unremarkable day.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's
I just
4,
remember
3,
waking
2,
up
1.
in the middle of the night and thinking how quiet it
1, 2, 3, 4.
It would have made sense to go right back to sleep, but something felt wrong.
777.
That kind of thing where the instinct part of your brain has picked up on something, but the thinking parts
Red
haven't
Bull
managed to put
432.
together what it is yet. The longer I lay there trying to go back to sleep, the worse I felt.
I always hate it when these guys do this in these stories, when they're describing their fear. It's not.
Is it because someone is describing their feelings?
It's just always that they're always trying to really sell you on their fear. They're like,
what is this fear that they speak of? I don't understand.
I once met a grizzly bear.
Man.
Remember that guy from that other story?
Yeah,
I met a big scary grizzly bear.
We're not gonna
and
get
I
into this.
remember how scared I was.
Yeah, because it's the scariest
and
predator on
sometimes
Earth.
I was that scared in other places.
I think you just don't understand what fear is.
I know what fear is, baby.
Okay, if you know what fear is, describe fear to me.
Your butthole clenches.
Yeah?
There.
Yeah, I agree with
I
that.
started to get sweaty.
When you
and then
clench a little
nauseous.
too hard.
And then I was just lying there wide awake, hopped up on adrenaline and completely certain that something was going to try.
I
and kill me.
double.
My boyfriend
I
wasn't in the bed
washed
with
my
me,
hands,
but I didn't
and
hear
then
the
I
clicking.
used hand
So he
sanitizer.
wasn't trying to open the door either. I knew he was still in the room with me, not moving, not making any noise, but I knew. I felt him. Something in the instinct part of my brain told me not to move or make any noise. It took another long slice of time to figure out why. On the wall across from the bed, the wall I was facing, something was casting a reflection that wasn't usually there.
Hello?
It was just a sliver of reflected streetlight. Right or wrong, my brain latched onto that as a sure sign that I was about to die.
Why?
Sure. Frankly, one of the advantages of having a smart home, because you could just
Like,
Google,
okay, Google, turn on the lights.
lights.
Yeah, I do have that hooked up in my bedroom, and it's fucking so good. This is not sponsored by Google, just like that other episode was not sponsored by Schlage.
Yeah, use a different brand. We don't care. Just use regular bulbs and have a butler.
Have a
decided I
butler.
had to
Oh
look
my
and
God.
see what was behind me. It
Any
had to be my
volunteers in the
boyfriend.
crew to turn on
Just
my
my
lights for
boyfriend.
me?
Though I had no idea what could have been casting that reflection. He wouldn't have put on his glasses if he was sleepwalking. And if he wasn't sleepwalking, I couldn't think of a reason why he'd be standing over the bed in complete silence for however many minutes or hours he'd been there. As soon as I made the first slightest shift to roll over, the reflection zipped up the wall and disappeared. I froze again, on the edge of having a heart attack. Nothing else moved. Nothing made
A Google
any
butler.
sound. The reflection didn't come back. I wasn't nearly rolled over enough to see what was behind me.
Ew.
I couldn't move anymore. Even if I'd wanted to, I just couldn't. I think I must have stayed like that, frozen exactly where I was for a couple of hours, at least. The arm I was lying on top of went completely to sleep. I got a crick in my neck so bad it almost made me cry. There was a spring in the mattress digging into my hip that I would have sworn drew blood. Oh man, by the way, this has happened to me on an Unsolved shoot.
Fucking stupid.
Where I swore there was something in the room with me or something looking at me, and I just thought, I gotta stay completely still.
That's a sleep paralysis demon.
So this thing doesn't notice me, and I've definitely frozen in an uncomfortable position for probably 30 minutes. And I know this sounds ridiculous, but I've done this before. Not maybe a couple hours.
These are T-Rex rules.
I think it's the idea that, well, this thing hasn't confronted me yet, so let's continue doing what's working right now. Finally, I heard movement. The reflection came back down the wall, just a flicker, and disappeared again. My boyfriend walked out of the room. A couple seconds later, the clicking of him trying to open the door started up again. I counted 100 clicks before I turned over. I was alone in the room. I waited another 100 clicks before I got up out of bed. I could barely move. I was painfully sore from lying completely still for who knows how long. I peeked out of the bedroom towards the front door. My boyfriend was there. The hand that wasn't turning the doorknob was holding a kitchen knife. I got back in bed. I didn't sleep. This is taking a hard left here, and my worst fear has been confirmed here. This dude is going crazy.
That's what I'm saying. That's when you get either the water or the vacuum.
I don't know if I want to throw water or startle somebody with a knife, though. Because, like, what if he just like wakes up and like fucking goes John Wick with it and just throws it at me?
I mean, yeah, you know, can't be doing that. Lock him up. Get some safety locks or something.
I guess.
Certainly a conversation to be had over breakfast on this one.
Oh,
In
for
the morning,
sure.
I told him what had happened. He agreed that it was scary, and we made an appointment with his GP to bring it up. I was pretty shaken up, so, as much as it was a coward's move, I decided to stay with a friend until we could figure out what was going on. He wasn't happy about it and tried to convince me not to, but I really, genuinely couldn't stay. He didn't get violent or anything, but he also didn't really seem to understand why I was so freaked out.
Oh, you don't trust me when my brain turns off?
You're
and I walk
holding a
around
knife?
with a murder tool?
This feels real.
He promised he
Because
wouldn't
this
hurt
is
me.
sleepwalking.
I said, I don't know if it's up to you whether or not you hurt me.
This is sleepwalking
He asked
stuff.
who else it would be up to, and I just said, I don't know.
What if he was
He didn't
pretending to
like it,
sleepwalk?
but he let it go. Even if he didn't understand why I was scared, he He could tell that I was scared.
You had sleep
and at the
paralysis
end of the
one because
day,
saw a demon
he
in your
tried to
closet.
respect that.
I couldn't move him.
So I went to stay with a friend,
You
and
won't.
he
And
stayed
it
at my
left
apartment.
good times.
Neither of us wanted anybody else to find out.
Most of my
what was
sleep
going on,
paralysis
or how
demons
long
always
we kept
breathe
it
on
a
my neck.
secret already. His doctor's
It's
appointment
disgusting.
was
So I
only
like
about a week out,
twitch
so it was
twitch
pretty
in my sleep
unlikely
paralysis.
he'd even have another sleepwalking
very
episode
annoying.
before it came around. I made him promise to lock the doors every night before he went to bed anyway.
Now you're just
and to
lucid
text me
dreaming
to
and have
let
it,
me know
yeah.
he'd done it. And he did do it. I still have the text message. I can't
Wait,
think
wait,
of
wait.
any reason.
Wait. One thing I fucking hate about sleep paralysis, because sometimes, I kind of understand, like, what you're talking about, Prime. Cause sometimes I would just like lay down, right, and then I'm like, oh, I feel sleepy, right? But then when you fall in a state of like sleep paralysis, you kind of don't really know that much because you're just like on the verge of going to bed. And then it just flips, like you were awake, and then suddenly it just like it flips to you basically sleeping, but with your eyes open. It's weird. It's really weird. But yeah, I've had that so many times, and then I'm like, oh, my whole spine is twitching again, like as if something's breathing on my back again. Here we go again, and I can't move again. It's great. It's great. But yeah, I've had that like for a very long time. It's so bad.
Reason why he would have lied. But in the morning, he was gone anyway. I came by around 8, before it was supposed to get really swelteringly hot, just to check in and make sure he was okay. The door was unlocked when I got there. I didn't panic, or even really freak out. It was kind of like finding that an old pet had finally died while you were out. It was just this kind of sinking dread, this certainty, the guilt of a loss that you expected and couldn't stop.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when a pet dies, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't matter because they're old, you know?
Hey, who gives a shit?
Nothing was missing. No signs of a struggle or a break-in. His glasses were sitting on his nightstand. His phone was still there, still plugged into its charger. His clothes for the day were laid out. All his shoes were still on the shoe rack. His keys were on the key hook by the door. Even the kitchen knife was still in its knife block. But my boyfriend was gone. I called up my friend who I was staying with, and we went to the police station to report him as missing. They were pretty unhelpful, pretty dismissive, but I mostly just wanted to cover all my bases. We spread it around Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and every other social media site anybody in our friend group or our families had an account on. His family hired a private investigator to try and find him. I did everything I could to help, including eventually talking about his sleepwalking.
I have an idea of how this could end, and it's probably not gonna go this way, but I think it's a good ending, and I want to pitch it.
Hit me.
He gets there, can't find his boyfriend. Oh no, where is he? I can't find him. Oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
he's gone. Where is he?
Yeah.
Looking everywhere, turning the apartment inside out,
Yeah,
emptying all the
he's
drawers,
looking for him.
looking in the closet,
Okay,
looking in the shed.
He's really thoroughly looking for him, yes.
He sits down in a big comfy chair, and he's sitting there going, where could he be? He looks over, he catches, maybe a reflection.
never had sleep paralysis
a
before?
glimmer of sunlight dances
That's
across the
weird.
mantle, and he sees a snow globe, and he thinks, I don't remember that being there. He walks up to the snow globe, he sees a little tiny version of his boyfriend. He looks scared, as if saying, help me. The end? Question mark.
Does anybody else have any other pitches for the ending of this story?
You may now go
Let's
and
just stay
get
with the
some
ending, huh?
caffeine.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
From the
well,
caffeine
that's good though.
wizard.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's a
was
Lego.
snow globe the whole time. He was.
Oh.
What if he's a Lego?
Wow.
Is that better?
What if he was a Lego? That's crazy. Yes.
Yeah, what if he was a Lego?
Yeah. It's been about 4 years since he disappeared. Nobody's found any sign of him, not even a body. I've moved apartments twice, changed my phone number, bought a lockbox to keep all my cooking knives in. I still sometimes wake up in a cold sweat, certain I just heard somebody rattling the doorknob. So, are you scared?
It sounds pretty
Yeah,
real.
so the boyfriend ghosted him, I guess.
I guess, or yeah, I mean,
That's
seeing as how-
better than the boyfriend turning into a Lego?
Let's find out if the story is real. How about that?
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Looks like this story is imagined by S.J. Roston, submitted to us for this show. So, a fake one. A fictional one, not real. But, sure read real. I mean, I do appreciate how much this read like a true story.
I'll say this, coods for the restraint. Coods for the restraint.
Yeah, sometimes it takes restraint. You can learn a thing or two from that. It was a fun tale. It was gripping. So
I respect it. I respect it. I'd say 10 out of 10, slam dunk. I'm pleased.
Nice. Well, I mean, you got the slam dunk from Shane Medane. It doesn't happen often.
Yeah, I don't hand out dunker. I only hand out one dunker every season.
And there it is. Well, that does it for this story. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Bye.
Oh my god. But yeah, oh my god, sleep paralysis. I once had sleep paralysis, like in a car before, in a passenger seat. It was so, oh my god. I almost spilled my water. It's really weird, cause it just feels like you're awake. Okay, not like, you don't feel like you're awake, but like you feel like your eyes are closed, but you can still see everything. Yeah. And that's the funny thing when you're talking about how like some people are thinking about like, oh, I see like a demon in my room, right? Sometimes I don't know if a lot of people have this too, but like sometimes I don't see the thing. It's just more of like a presence thing. Like you feel like there's a presence in the room. Like you don't see it, but you feel like there's like a presence in the room. Which is why I hate it when I have my back like away from like my door, because I be facing the wall, and then that's when I get like the chills down my spine all the time, like non-stop, because I'm like, oh, it feels like there's a presence behind me, and it feels like you know, because it feels like there's a presence behind me, I keep having like chills down my spine, but like I'm stuck and I can't do anything. It's so bad. You had a little bit of yoga nights where I felt like someone sat at the end of your bed. Yeah, it's like that. Oh my god. It just kept... Huh? Oh my god. In the car is the only time I can sleep. It's always when like... Oh! I can get it all the time in the car. That's crazy. I've only ever had it once before. You ran out of oxygen? Oh my god. Remember how the demon of the person was inside like a few times. I'm debating if I want to end early just because cramps. Oh. Let me go check to see if there's any new Wendigo. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm always up to date with him. Wendigo. Yeah, isn't it great? I like it. I like it big time. Oh, that's a funny story. Yeah, I'm actually genuinely curious. How many videos do I actually watch? Like all the time. I feel like I watch like majority of the videos. Yeah, like basically every video so far. Yeah. Yep. The deadliest shipwreck and shark attack in naval history. The bizarre mystery of the Kamar Daban deaths. I don't know. I kind of just want to like lie in bed and just die. You still need to see his vampire vid. It is hilarious. I haven't gotten a banana yet. Is it pickle juice? Very interesting. When are you gonna make more TikToks? When I actually finish those, that I just need to open up Premiere and edit. I'm like, I may or may not be hyper focused on creating a VR chat world right now. So bear with me. Literally these past 3 weeks, I've been in VR chat, like adding or creating avatars and like creating like my like a world, like the first world I've ever made. Yeah. So it's so weird. I like fucked up my sleep schedule because of that too. Yeah, if you're wondering, have I not been on your feed? You're gonna hate me because once I start pushing these out again, it's gonna be like nonstop. Well, not like nonstop, but like, if I decide to like bulk, just like all over, I'll just be on your feed and you'll be like, no. That's why it always cracks me up when like new folks find me because there's like too many videos out, so they just end up getting like all the old videos. You see that I'm on VR chat? Yeah, because I'm testing out things, that's why. Can you dunk me in your cup before ending the stream? I shall. Wait, hold on, let me at least go over here. Yeah, you really moved though. You've moved the ship to the resort. I can't believe it. You actually did it. You actually did it. This is so not meant for October. This is so not meant for October. I hate it here. The beach episode, but I'm wearing a sweater and I'm drinking hot coffee. I'm a dunk you though. The black hole copy. There you are. Let's go. Dunk. Oh my god, how am I gonna protect Ugo? Wait, I got this. Don't worry about it. I just get closer. Is it no? BT? No! Welcome to the Starving Brigade. I need to dunk this lovely crewmate into my coffee mug. Wait. I've done it. Just eat him. Ha. Never mind. I was trying to see if I could like toss it and then eat it, but then that didn't work out. Ma'am, I just drowned him in coffee. Isn't that great? Isn't that great though? It's a cold beach. Gotta dip your toes into the cold water and tell me how the temperature is. Do we have to wear our career uniforms at the beach? Yes! Because this is undocumented vacation day. How hot it is. I know, right? Hi, wait, let me turn this over here so that now I can go eat. Who's alive? He is alive. Oh, is he on? Oh my god! How long has he been up? Is he gonna go and finish it? I'm actually very curious. I'm genuinely curious. Oh my god. Oh my god. We're oh my god, we have to raid quickly. We're raiding one of my favorite Genshin TikTok people. This person from TikTok always cracks me up so hard every time I see them on my feed. Yeah, we're ending early. I'm like dying right now. Like completely dying. Like my like stomach is completely like imploding and dying and cramping. Yeah. Let's see. Monday? What are we doing on Monday? Are we starting? Yeah, we're starting a new game on Monday. Wednesday we'll finish the bridge. yeah, the bridge horror game. And then Saturday, I might not stream, but I might stream on TikTok. We'll see. We might have a random TikTok stream somewhere at the in the weekend, since I can't stream on Saturday.
Please name your turd baby after me, Cap'n.
Alright, I'll be sure and send them to school down the drain. Anyway, here you go. But yeah, wait, I have to go in jail! Ah! I'll be in jail for the rest of the cycles. Man. Anyway, have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your night. Stay hydrated, stay caffeinated. Oh, that's so weird. They have like the new stuff for Twitch. I'm still gonna use Opera until Opera like updates. Everything is so bad. Criminal. Smooth criminal. But yes, goodbye. Hope to see you guys on Monday. I'll try to make like Wednesday, I don't know, like a weird finish the horror game and then maybe just chatting after, since I think the horror game is almost at the end. So but yeah, have a great rest of your day, have a great rest of your night, stay hydrated, stay caffeinated. I hope to see you on Monday. Thank you guys for I swear I have stuff, I just haven't released it because I'm super hyper focused on 2 hobbies right now, so don't worry about it. Gotta remember, your captain's multi hobbyist. This is just one hobby. Just depends on what I want to do. Oh, yo. Bye bye. Goodbye.